Greetings and salutations, everybody.
Oh my god, I should have grabbed my sister battle armor for
You
this.
should have. I'm shocked that it's not there on
Well,
around you.
we were talking about the MCU and all of the movies and everything prior to this.
Yes, we got distracted talking about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Um,
I
but
still I still argue that Spider-Man is the greatest hero of all of them. Like it goes Spider-Man, then Batman, Superman, then Wonder Woman.
he's such a relatable character. Is the thing. He's just so
Yeah,
relatable. It's
exactly.
it's it's one of the things that makes him a great character. But we're here today to talk about something else, something non-spidery. We're going to talk about some Sisters of Battle, the Adeptus Sororitas. Welcome back to Lorebeards 40K. This is the show where we take the vast and contradictory and occasionally pyromaniacal history of the Imperium and attempt to make sense of it before someone declares us heretics. It's the internet. They're always going to declare us heretics. It's probably already happened.
I have never done a single thing that is heretical in my entire life, Ross.
Says the woman with a Slanesh tattoo on her
Look,
arm.
the fact that you know what that is means that you are guilty of witnessing heresy, my friend. Straight to the penitent engine with you.
So, fun fact, right after this show airs around 5 p.m. Mountain Time, you can find a poll up for next Wednesday's show, which is going to be a lore court where we debate a topic. And one of the topics, and I think you'd appreciate this, Alexis, based on what you just said, is the Inquisition actually necessary for the Imperium?
Yes.
No, maybe not.
Yes.
We'll have to
Yes.
talk about it.
Yes. Yeah. We're gonna fight about it.
It's going to be great.
I'll
But
throw
today,
heavies.
Today, we're turning our attention to the Adeptus Sororitas, the Sisters of Battle, the Ecclesiarchy's armed faithful, the nuns with guns. They are the women who.
The bolter bitches. Let's
the,
go.
The Melta Maidens. I love that one. These women look at a galaxy full of demons and heretics and aliens and bureaucrats, and they will fight against impossible odds because the correct answer is always a bolter, a flamer, a chainsword, and an absolutely unshakable belief in the Emperor as a god.
You know, Ross, there is something that doesn't exist for the Sisters of Battle, but I honestly think that it should exist.
Mm.
And that is a sniper rifle that shoots dragonfire rounds. It doesn't need to make any sense. It is a sniper rifle flamethrower. I don't just let me have this.
I mean, they have bolters. It seems like you could just adapt different patterns of bolters to them, but I mean, hey, it's Games Workshop. You know, they may eventually come around and give us more types of units for the sisters. Before we get into all that, because today is a tier list, we're going to be ranking all of the orders of the Adeptus Sororitas. Alexis, Norn Queen, Alexis, who are you?
I don't know. Anyway, jokes aside, hi everyone, I'm Norn Queen Alexis. I am a Viking reenactress, a Warhammer aficionado, a tournament player, and a painter. I do a whole bunch of stuff and things that involve this hobby, and unfortunately, it's become a major part of my life, and I don't think I could ever escape from it anymore.
The event horizon has you. You're being drawn in.
Yeah, I'm gonna be spaghetti-ified into Warhammer.
I love that that's a term.
So do I.
I
You know,
love
there's
it.
a term for throwing somebody out a window.
Yeah, defenestration.
Yeah, defenestration.
There's even one for there's one for throwing a window through a person. Refenestration.
That's amazing.
It's you know what, I played comics in the 90s. This is where I learned all of those words.
Ross, who are you?
Hi everybody, I'm Ross Watson. I am a game designer and author. I worked on most of Warhammer 40k roleplay. Was on the US White Dwarf team for a couple of years. I worked on some Warhammer 40k video games. I got so deep into the grimdark, I decided to make it everyone's problem. That's why I'm here today to talk about this great topic on Lorebeards 40k, because dun, 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 we are not just talking about the sisters, we're putting the orders on trial before the most dangerous tribunal in the Imperium. That is our chat, the Lore Seekers. And we're going to rank them in order. What is the criteria we're ranking them again on?
Okay, so I wrote this down because I am smart, and I am definitely not using words to fill this up while I go and look it up. Okay, so we're going to talk about them in terms of relevance to the overall lore of Warhammer 40k. Are they important? Okay?
All right.
how cool they are. Like, are their relics awesome? Do they have a particular weapon that's really cool? Is their battle style really badass? And three, their characters. A lot of Sister of Battle characters, though they don't have much lore, there's a lot of really, really good lore out there for the Sisters of Battle, including those of lesser orders that I absolutely love.
Yeah, there's at least one order that is almost entirely defined by a character, and it's a really popular character, so that's helpful. Although I already can tell that some of the choices on this list are going to be ranked fairly low because they don't have characters. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be counting on you, Alexis, to tell me which order has what characters, just to be clear, because I know that I
I
can name a lot of characters, but I can't name exactly which order they're part of per se.
I will help, but I am very forgetful when it comes to names.
All right. So which order has the strongest style? Which is the most terrifying to encounter if you happen to be a heretic, a mutant, or a Xenos? Which order deserves far more attention than it receives? That's what we're going to find out today because we will make the arguments. We will defend our rankings. We will question each other's judgment, as we often do. But the final authority does come down to the chat. How does that work, Alexis?
So, if they truly want things to switch around and be all like, nah, this order or the Order of Our Martyred Lady is overrated. They're the Ultramarines of Sisters of Battle. Put them in D tier. Put them into the Penitent Engine. I honestly might change one of the rankings to Penitent Engine because that is a horrible fate, and I absolutely love that thing. Or somebody's just like, their penance has been served, put them back to S tier. All they have to do is give a simple $10 donation and put something where they want. If they want to donate an additional $10, they could shield it so that it doesn't get moved at least once.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna.
a shield blocks a placement from being changed one time.
Yeah,
And to be clear, it's being changed by you, the chat. We're going to put it in a spot. We're not going to touch it after that. So you guys can move it around. So sound the hymns, ready the incense, check your Prometheum tanks, and make sure that your paperwork is doctrinally compliant. It's time to
making
rank.
deals with Mars for some reason.
Occasionally. So this is Lorebeards 40K. Let's rank the Sisters of Battle. We get to start with a cool image of our. There it is. Yep. Oh, and we have actually a couple super chats we should read before we get too far down the line, huh?
Yes.
All right, Dynaman.
We just got the two.
Right. Dynaman. He says, future Let's Build suggestion, a sapient Xenos species. Questions such as how humanoid, vertebrate or invertebrate, theme of technology, how united are they, allegiance, such as independent or tower chaos, and so on. You know what? I'm okay with that. Let's build a Xenos species. Sure.
Yeah, it could be really cool.
I will add it to the list. I mean, I think I have already kind of picked out the ones for the rest of this month, but it's possible it could come up in September for sure. So yeah, good idea. Very cool. I like it. And he gives another one here, Dynaman. He says, so given that the sisters have an artillery tank that is a pipe organ, the Exorcist tank.
Yeah.
I suggest that they should have a super heavy based on a carry-on, not like a carry-on on the plane. It's spelled Carillon, carry-on. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Which is an instrument that lets you play multiple church bells, usually around 50. Now, would this vehicle be based in a Land Raider chassis or a Baneblade?
I honestly think if you're going to give Sisters a super heavy, as there is a fan-made super heavy Baneblade that exists strictly, there is no lore for this thing. It does not exist, but fans have consistently added this thing in mods to multiple games, and that's the Baneblade Infernus. And it is a Baneblade where all of its guns are replaced with heavy flamethrowers.
Oh my god.
And I'm just like, yeah, that's perfect.
Oh my god.
Put a couple of exorcist organs on the back of that thing, and there you go. You got yourself a Sister of Battle super heavy tank. Or give them something simple, similar to the Imperialis, but make it a cathedral.
Cathedral Imperialis. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
I'm on board for the Cathedral Imperialis.
I also want them to re-get drop pods like the really, really, really ancient lore that they had where they had drop pods. But I want them to just be drop like what is it? It's like the statue that you pray at. I forget what that's.
Shrine.
Yeah, a drop shrine, and like
Mm.
sisters pop out of it. That could be really cool.
Drop chapel, says Dynamam.
Oh yeah, drop chapels exist in the lore, but they're rare. They exist in artwork a lot, though.
Yeah. Why don't the Sisters of Battle? Why can't they use hellhounds? Right, because those things are just basically a big flamer on treads.
Well, they have something that's a bit better.
The repressor, right?
They have the repressor. They also have the immolator, which has
The
two.
immolator. That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, the repressor does have two heavy flamethrowers on it, and is a very good close combat vehicle, and has six crew compartment, which is actually insane. It has 10 crew compartment, and 6 girls can shoot out of it. It was an insane vehicle. Back in the day, back at the start of 8th edition, I bought like 10 of those things and brought them to tournaments all the time. It was a glorious time.
Dynamite says they also have the second best Dawn of War 1 music. I agree.
Yes. Yes, they do.
All right, so let's talk about some of the. First of all, we have to kind of make a distinction because there's actually 2 types of orders in the Adeptus Sororitas. The first are what's called the Orders Militant. Orders Militant are kind of like a Space Marine chapter. They're like individual churches, if you will, that field the Sisters of Battle, the actual women with the guns and the power armor who go into battle. But some of the outside of the Orders Militant, though, there are other orders of the Sororitas that are not necessarily the ones going around in power armor and shooting things. They are, well, we'll get into them. But so when we talk about like specific named ones, those are usually, but not always, the Orders Militant. And then I have kind of grouped the Orders Minoris into their individual categories. And it's going to be fun to talk about them because some of these are actually great for role-playing purposes.
Yes.
So I dig that a great deal.
Also, this is a slight tangent. Sisters of Battle desperately need a tech priest style unit. It is very weird that they do not have them.
Well,
like it could be something very similar to. Yes, yeah, it is.
Okay.
How do they maintain their vehicles?
They probably take them back to a depot where a tech priest will work on them. But imagine being the tech priest who's fielded alongside a hostile religion to your own. And you're a priest. Like, that's your whole identity is like, hey, I love the Omnissiah. The Omnissiah is great. Deus Ex Machina, baby. And, you know, the everyone next to you who happens to be power armored and carrying guns is like, yeah, no, you are full of shit. That's the reason why they don't get fielded alongside them.
Hear me out, Ross. Okay? Are you ready for this?
Okay.
I want a Sister of Battle style mechanic. Put her in the Dialogist sept. Put her as a separate thing. She is trained as a abbot of the Mechanicus and then strictly converted fully to a Sister of Battle. Well, not a battle sister, but a sister, because that's a difference. There are differences here. A battle sister is strictly the ones meant for war. You put her in there, and then you give her an ability that just lets her use a miracle dice to heal the vehicle, because she's not healing it through the traditional means. She's literally willing it back together using miracles.
All right, so there is, I think, room in the lore to explore the idea of a Tech Marine-like program where some Sisters of Battle get trained in some of the arts of the machine. But that would probably require a fairly big shakeup within both the Mechanicus and the Ecclesiarchy to work, like lore-wise. I think they'd have to have there would have to be some sort of events where the two of them are working a little more closely together side by side, because they are such rivals in the Imperium. Or you got to remember, the Ecclesiarchy is incredibly powerful within Imperial society.
Yeah.
The amount of wealth and influence and territory that they control is massive compared to most of the other factions. They're probably the second biggest subgroup after the Adeptus Mechanicus, who got, by the way, are also extremely territorial and jealous and guard of the guardians. They guard their power.
That's a perfect name.
Sororitex.
Sororitex.
Very good, Mr. Vertebra. I like it.
I think, or if anything, this group should be like given protection by the canonesses so that the sisters don't harm them. And you could call the unit Sororitex. That is such a good name.
That's pretty good.
It.
That is pretty good.
It does suck that they don't have a unit that repairs their vehicles on the tabletop currently.
So we do have a point I want to actually address here really quick, which is iDuff says there was a huge discourse within the ecclesiarchy and the Mechanicus about faith. Ever heard of the Moire Schism? The Moire Schism was more about a civil war in the Mechanicus than anything else. It was not. It was not so much about the ecclesiarchy. It was far more about the split in between different groups of the Mechanicus. The machine cult. It was actually their worst split since the Schism of Mars, which was, the Horus Heresy. So the Moire Schism is a really big deal, but it is primarily Martian. It is not so much about the ecclesiarchy. Martian, I like that.
There was one more comment here. The Dawn of War modders made a character called the
Almaness.
Almaness, which fulfills that function. Yes, true. Did you know that the Adeptus Sororitas is voiced by me and Webb from Snipe and Webb?
Hey, that's cool.
Or is she Snipe? Is he Snipe or is she? I always get the two mixed up. I'm sorry, but Snipe and Webb are an amazing channel. Highly recommend them.
I think I've seen a couple of their videos.
But it's really funny that if you play that mod, there's a good chance that you've heard my voice a lot.
And this guy points out, Living Legend points out that technically the Emperor is also the Omnissiah, but that's what the machine cult believes. So you'd have to figure out a way to make the ecclesiarchy believe it. Really, that's your hold up. That's your roadblock there. Is to make the ecclesiarchy believe the Emperor is also the Omnissiah. You'd think that wouldn't be that hard because, well, isn't the Emperor just more powerful and more awesome if he's the god of two different religions? And the ecclesiarchy would be like, no, because we're the only correct religion.
And the Mechanicus would say the exact same thing.
They would be horrified. They'd be like, what? How dare you, sir?
Gilliman would be sitting in the corner like this, like, stop.
Yeah.
He's not a god.
Captain Picard, hand over face. Oh boy, yeah. I mean, technically, I guess there are people pointing out in the chat that that Gilliman, as the Lord Regent of Terra, could technically force it to happen. But that might be borrowing a lot of trouble for what's the return on investment there? Like, I don't know if that's really like the right thing to spend a lot of time on, but meh.
So there is a very particular unit that the sisters have that is almost exclusively theirs, that they might need their own type of technicians for, and that is the Paragon Warsuits.
No, Paragon Warsuits. Those are Mars. You're thinking of the Penitent engine.
Yeah, they do have their own unique weapons and war gear that they themselves need to tend to, maybe. But again, according to other sources, all tech comes from Mars.
I strongly suspect that at the end of the day, it is someone in a red robe is working on those Penitent engines.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we need to get back to this. So our first major order militant is the Order of Our Martyred Lady. They are the Convent Sectorum on Ophelia 7, which is kind of the home world of the Sisters of Battle. They were founded in the memory of Saint Catherine, who is a very powerful she's one of the original brides of the Emperor that spoke to the Emperor and was during the Reign of Blood and Goj Van Dyer. We talked about a lot of this on the channel before. And one of the 6 companions of Alicia Dominica, that's her name, St. Catherine. It's possibly the most recognizable sororitas order in modern 40K because they're kind of the Ultramarines, if you will, of the Sisters of Battle. They're known for uncompromising zeal and a willingness to accept terrible casualties in the Emperor's service. These are the women in black armor with red robes. Whenever you see a sister battle, black armor, red robes, that's Order of Our Martyred Lady.
According to other Imperial forces, they're also known for being the most suicidal of the Sisters of Battle, which is really funny. But from their perspective, they themselves are not suicidal. They just know when and where to martyr themselves. It just so happens that it happens a lot. They're also an equivalent to an Imperial Guard faction would be the Death Corps of Krieg, where at first they do seem suicidal, charging into no man's land and getting themselves mowed down by the hundreds. The Sisters of our Martyred Lady do something very similar, but they tend to have like literal faith magic to protect them. So it kind of works. The Sisters of Our Martyred Lady are also the ones with the most lore out of any and all of the Sisters of Battle, having the most dedicated books.
And 3 named characters.
Yes, flat out just 3 named characters, which I will go back to my list and have them up right this second.
Well, one of them is Saint Celestine.
Yes, one of them Saint Celestine. Actually, they have a lot of named characters. Holy crap! I just thought about this.
Well, there's her, and there's your other favorite named character, Ephriel Stern, who's also part of the Order of Our Martyred Lady.
Yes, but they have another crazier sister in their
Talking
order.
about Junith?
No, Junith is their Canoness superior, which is really cool. Absolutely love her. But they have Mariel Sabathiel.
Do they?
The only sister of battle to ever willingly fall to chaos. That's very important that she willingly fell to chaos. Most sisters did not willingly fall to chaos. I gotta put a disclaimer here right now, okay? Sisters do not willingly fall to chaos. It's not a thing that kind of happens. They only one has ever willingly gone to chaos. Most sisters unintentionally fall to chaos, or chaos just corrupts around them so much that they get corrupted.
Let's be clear. The only one known to have done
willingly,
this.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really, when you're talking about millions of women over 10,000 years, well, not 10,000. We're talking about millions of women over thousands of years.
Yeah.
There's maybe she's not the only one. It's a broad brush to paint. That's all I'm saying.
Also, how dare you say this? Ephriel Stern is not the Captain Marvel of 40K. Captain Marvel is a fucking terrible character. Like, Ephriel Stern is really cool. Oh, sorry. Go ahead with the other one.
We have a super chat from our good friend Necromancer Kobold. He says, I have the sentiment that Games Workshop is incredibly brave to not only make a woman-only faction, but to make them battle nuns who are arguably the evilest faction in the Imperium from our modern perspective. I mean, we did that episode on the Adeptus Mechanicus, and I'm like, they're pretty evil, bro. So yeah, I don't know,
but the Adeptus Mechanicus don't attach people by the hundreds of thousands to torture machines and throw them at their opponents, only for those machines to keep the body alive after severe catastrophic damage to the body.
There are no good guys in 40K. We say this a lot. So.
No, but I would definitely. We should do a tier list on the
most evil
faction.
Oh, now we're talking. Oh, that's a good idea. I think I will have to add that for our next one.
I honestly think Sisters got to be close to the top because they do lobotomize entire populations. They do burn entire populations. They're known to attack their own allies, even if that be Space Marines. They do not trust Space Marines. They think they're mutants sometimes, depending on the order. Argent Shroud, I'm going to talk about them. They don't like Space Marines, which is really fun. But yeah, Sisters of Battle turning like entire populations into archoflagellants. That's pretty metal.
I mean, you made a good point there. Necromancer Kobold, thank you so much for the super chat. This is the part of the show where I say, if you want more Lorebeards 40K coming at you every week, the best way to support us and support the channel is with a super chat. We're always grateful to everyone who chooses to give us a super chat because, hey, it keeps the lights on and the hosts happy. So thank you guys. And Necromancer Kobold, you are one of the best, bro. We appreciate you. All right. So where would you put our martyred lady on this list? I think it's probably got to be S tier, right? Because Saint Celestine and the
Saint
fact that they're the
Celestine.
poster, they're the poster of the faction. They're the faction exemplar, right?
So Saint Celestine alone carries this to S tier, and I really want to do an episode on Saint Celestine because she has battled so many greater demons. Like, so many greater demons. She takes them on 4 at a time and bests them. I wish her stats represented this in 40K's tabletop game, but then she would be unstoppable.
Then you've got Ephriel Stern, right? Which is arguably the most famous one outside of Celestine. And then you've got Muriel Sabathiel, and then you've got Junith. Like the lineup, the cast for our martyred lady is stacked with names.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think easy S tier personally.
I'm not even gonna. If there was a higher tier than S, that's where I would put them.
I mean, we can make it double S, but I prefer not to.
They are the faction that got me into 40K, and our martyred lady specifically. There was an artwork from way back in the day of the one bolter, the one sister battle holding the bolter like this with her, the femme fatale look of it, the gothic aesthetic. I fell in love with that, and I was just like, all right, what the hell is a chainsword? Easy money there, S tier.
Question from Dinoman. He says, so the reason the Sisters of Battle have only ladies is because of the whole no men under arms thing. Right. This was a deal made after the Reign of Blood. We've talked about it before on the channel. I can, if people are curious, I can summarize it again. Dinoman asks, if men were allowed to join the Sororitas, could they also achieve the same level of faith where they could do miracles and such? I would assume so, but maybe there's lore I don't know about.
So the closest thing to a battle sister in terms of like stats and equipment are things called Crusaders. They carry storm shields, they have power swords. Oh, there's a rescue chopper landing by my house soon. I live next to a hospital, so we get the rescue choppers every now and then. But I've never read any lore that stated that they can do miracles, but I have read lore that preachers and other ecclesiarchal members can do miracles. So yes, but also no. Also, male sisters of battle, if you ever want to troll people, just put up Crusaders and say that they've always existed. It really bugs people.
So the name of the character that you're talking about, the one on the cover, the John Blanche image, rest in peace, John Blanche.
Yeah.
That's Canoness Viridian, I believe is her name.
No, not that one. That's the one with her stepping on the skull and everything, and the giant goth boots with the white hair and everything. That one is also really good. Canoness Viridian is also another really cool member, but I think she's actually is she part of the Martyred Lady? I want to say no.
I don't think so.
No, I think she's part of Valorous Heart.
So the answer here, Dynaman, is yes, with a slight caveat, like an asterisk on it. Okay. Can men achieve the same level of faith where they can do miracles? In the lore, we know that miracles have been attributed to men, like Sebastian Thor. Possibly the biggest example. He was the guy who dethroned Goj Van Dyer during the Reign of Blood. He's remembered as doing a lot of miracles. Saint Drusus in the Calixtus sector was witnessed to have risen from the dead by Space Marines of the Iron Hands chapter, which is very odd for them to come forward and testify about some sort of major miracle of faith like that. So, yeah, according to the lore, yes, they can perform miracles. They can reach that same level of faith. The asterisk is the only ones we've ever seen in codexes with like rules for faith are the Adeptus Sororitas, are the women.
In the most current edition, the men can also do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they have the Adeptus Sororitas keyword.
Okay, well, so there you go. So it had in the 11th edition, right? This is 11th or 10th?
11th now.
Okay, so the brandy new Sister Battle Codex, they can do that in the rules. So take the asterisks off. Yes, absolutely, 100%. Men can do the faith thing.
I also think that Sisters of Battle being only men really fits the Imperium's like dogmatic view on like only or the sisters being only women and the Space Marines only being men isn't a limitation on anything physical. It's a limitation on how intelligent the people are in Warhammer, where they're so into it. The fascism is so ingrained into their minds that they can't not be sexist. So I like the idea that they segregated the two most powerful like armies that they have, which is the Sisters of Battle and the Space Marines, which should be working together side by side, similar to how the Custodies work with the Sisters of Silence. But we're not here for that yet.
Dynaman, yes, one of the sisters killed Goj Van Dyer. If I misspoke, what I meant to say was Sebastian Thor was instrumental in casting down Goj Van Dyer because he was a big part of that.
We have another question from Necromantis Kobold.
So Necromantis Kobold, thank you so much. He says the maybe one Chaos Sister, that's Muriel Sabathiel, always makes me uncomfortable, mainly because she's a Slanesh follower, and the possible meta reason why gives me an ick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, one really cool thing, I think Muriel Sabathiel was always GW's attempt to kill off Lucius the Eternal. This is tinfoil hat, hear me out levels of this, okay? All right, you guys ready for this? Muriel Sabathiel has no body. Like, her armor is her body. There is nothing else inside her suit. She can only feel sensations when she's attacking or doing something. She can't take stimulants anymore. She doesn't feel anything anymore unless she's in combat murdering or butchering people and everything. She was, for the longest time, the only other character in the setting that wielded 2 demon weapons, which was crazy all the way in 3rd and 4th edition. That was really big because the only other character that could do that was Abaddon. Granted, with war gear purchases, you could do that with any Chaos Lord, but she was a named character with 2, and that was a big deal. And then she kind of just went away because GW's like, we're kind of sidelining Slanesh for now because we're trying to make Warhammer more mainstream, and Slanesh is a god of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That doesn't sell well. Meanwhile, the entire community's like, where's our god of sex, drugs, and rock and roll? We want to buy that army.
I did confirm that Canonist Viridian is part of Armored Lady. So
yes,
if you want to make a double S tier, I think Armored Lady does qualify. They literally have every big named character. The billboard characters for the Sister Battle are all in that, almost all. Canoness Morven Vol is a little bit. We don't know. Is my understanding. We don't know where she's from.
I did also see this comment, and I want to read this before we continue. Necromancer Kobold said, "No, Alexis, if you really want to make people upset, have them be trans men and women." Ross, did you know that there is a Sister Battle book that includes a trans woman in the Battle Sisters?
I did not. What novel is it?
I am not sure, but I know it exists because it was pointed out at that. It's in a list of all the representation of LGBTQ plus characters in 40K. I know it's a recent novel. I think it's Martyred Lady. What's the one where the girl gets burned across her face with the Imperial Aquila? I think it might be that one. Okay. Mark of Faith.
Well, Morven Vol is Argent Shroud. Thank you, IDEF. I also double checked that and found that information. Yep. So yeah, we do know where Morven Vol is from. Okay, good. So we actually, almost all the biggest names in all the Sororitas are in the Order of Armored Lady. If you want to do a double S tier for them, I'm okay with that. But we do need to talk about some of the other orders.
Yes. So the next one on the list.
Okay, we're not doing a double S tier. We're just saying top of S. Okay, fair enough.
No, it's just S tier.
Okay.
Because 2 S's is bad.
Now we're moving on to the Order of the Valorous Heart. Founded in the memory of Saint Lucia, and their order is defined by endurance, stealth denial, stoicism, and a willingness to withstand punishment that would break other people in half. They are associated with black armor, black cloaks, and white tabards. They are the black and white colors of Sisters of Battle, the Order of the Valorous Heart. And yeah, let's see here. Do we have information on who's in the Order of the Valorous Heart? We have, as far as I can tell, I don't see anybody that's a named character that's actually part of them.
No. No, they don't really have a. So they do have lore, which is pretty cool. They are mentioned in codexes. They are mentioned in Morven Val, the Spear of Faith, which is super cool. But there's not much to them, unfortunately. Uh, what we do know is that they are aggressive, like all Battle Sisters, and they tend to use a lot. If I'm not mistaken, they're the ones that use a lot of exorcists and retributors. They're the heavy hitters of the. They're the salamanders of Sisters of Battle. That's the weird way of saying it, but they're the heavy hitters. They're the ones that come in with the heavy flamethrowers, the multi meltas by the hundreds, exorcists like crazy, firing missiles. In fact, one of my favorite things is the Forge World Exorcist, the really old one that looks like a whirlwind, where it doesn't have the pipe organ but looks like a whirlwind, is actually painted in their color scheme. And it was an exclusive thing for them for a little bit before it went to all the other orders. Granted, that was mentioned in a White Dwarf, so grain of salt with that, because that lore has never been mentioned again. So, yeah. But Sisters of Battle do have different styles of Exorcist, and I can see the Order of the Valorous Heart using them more than anybody else. They're also really good at coordinating destruction, which is really cool because they are a siege regiment. Similar The most similar Space Marine chapter I can think of is if you take the salamanders and mix them with the Iron Hands, you get the Valorous Heart. Except they're not as nice. They lean more on the Iron Hand side of that, where they'll decimate people.
So yeah, unfortunately, I don't know how you can rank this higher than B. They seem like kind of the standard, like cool, but don't have any special characters. Their color scheme is fine, but not amazing. Their importance is not especially high or low. They're just one of the orders.
What's cool about them is that they are a battle sister order that fights Xenos regularly, which is unlike a lot of the other battle sisters.
Well,
Granted,
none of them are going to turn away from fighting Xenos.
yeah, all battle sisters will fight any enemy of the Imperium, but typically they are known to fight mutants and chaos. They don't fight Gene Stealer Cult all too much. They don't fight Tyranids all too much. But that doesn't mean that they don't fight them. They fight them quite a bit. This one is just more known for fighting them versus anything else. So while they do look cool and they are the easiest battle sister to paint because you just spray them black and just dry brush
Do a little
them.
bit of white, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking top of C, maybe.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not much to go with on them. They have a decent paint scheme, though I'm kind of just it's kind of whatever to me. I don't mean to be mean, but yeah.
Well, okay. And I think it's important for anybody here who's a Sororitas fan. We love the Sororitas. Sororitas are great. We're just ranking the individual pieces inside of them. The fact that we like one more than the others doesn't mean that we don't like all of them. It just means there's some of them are not quite as special or compelling as the other pieces of that puzzle. So the Valorous Heart is fine. Like I have nothing against them. There's no personal agenda here. I was just like, they don't seem to be particularly special or cool. So let's put them in C tier.
You know what the worst part is? Kind of like the Iron Hands.
Oh, again, pre-heresy. Pre-heresy Iron Hands are very cool and interesting.
Yes, post-heresy, they lost their head.
Yeah. We can talk about a lot of that. All right.
I mean, Duff, if you want to put them in A tier, $10 donation, you can move them to anywhere you want.
I think he's talking about Arch and Shroud, though, for A tier, but
yeah.
Which we will talk about them soon.
Yes.
Anything else to say about Order of the Valorous Heart?
They got a really cool banner. Their artwork is really cool.
Do they have a codex cover though, like our martyred lady?
So, okay, Sort of. The special edition box
Oh
has an
my
Argent
god.
Shroud on it, but not the
that's
Codex.
that's Argent Shroud. That's not Valorous Heart. We're talking about
Oh,
Valorous
sorry,
Heart.
Valorous Heart. I meant to say Valorous Heart. Okay, but yeah, that's kind of it for them, unfortunately. They're cool, but they're there. We do got a super chat here if you want to grab it, Ross.
Yeah, absolutely. Says Zerg Stir Fry. Oh, hey, that's a good name.
I would
Especially
try
for
that.
Sisters of Battle. Which Sororitas order is most likely to ally with the Inquisition or the Fraterus militia? I have some Necromunda Cotter converted troops that look like the background classic John Blanche, rest in peace, art piece guys. Well, good news. All of them are likely to ally with Fraterus militia and Inquisition. It's difficult for me to think of anyone that's specifically more than the others, maybe.
I mean, hang on. There
Bloody
is
Rose. Bloody Rose would be
Rose.
the Bloody Rose is they're the ones who are the most aggressive and the ones that hate the heretic, the mutant, and the alien the most. So I would say Bloody Rose are the ones that would be the most likely to ally with the Inquisition or Fraterus militia because that's what Cotter and the Redeemers cult is all about too. From Necromunda, which is that's their Cotter gang. They're part of the Redeemer cult.
So I hate to bring this back to Order of Our Murdered Lady, but they do have a special thing about sending sisters before they become sister superiors with the Inquisition.
So that as well. So Martyred Lady or Bloody Rose would be my pick. But again, all of them are fully on board with joining forces.
Also, if you want to use your Cawdor gang in Warhammer 40k for the tabletop game itself, you could actually run them as Sanctifiers or Imperial Agents and run them right alongside your Sisters of Battle. In fact, it's actually what I do with them. I use them as my Sanctifier unit. And you can get some of the custom weapons and everything in there, including their priest as well as a Miracleist, which is really cool. So if you want to use your Necromunda stuff in 40k, I can help you out with that, and you don't need to change a damn thing.
So leave that up, please. For the non-standard answer, like the role-playing game answer, I would actually say Argent Shroud, and here's why. Because Morven Val is her personality and the way that she is prosecuting her role as the overall leader of the Sororitas is very pragmatic, and she is very forward facing. Like she wants to get out there and be on the front lines. She's not sitting back on Terra. So I would personally see, if I was going to make an army that I wanted to have a strong ally link with the Inquisition and the Fraterus militia, I might go Argent Shroud and explain it that they are following in the footsteps of Morven Val, that they have been inspired by her, her faith and her zeal, especially her zeal. She's very zealous. And the fact that she doesn't back down even to Gilliman, that would maybe be where I would go with it and say, hey, Argent Shroud is a perfectly valid reason to do that, to link up with those two forces.
I still love that not only did she look directly at Gilliman, she viewed him as a peer, which Gilliman himself mentions that he can have a conversation with her as a peer instead of as somebody trying to worship him. And that is great for me. I love that kind of stuff because Morven Val is such a badass character, and I want to talk about her for just a moment because we are going to talk about the Sister Battle characters and why they're so cool. We are going to go more in depth in their own unique videos. That's just going to be a given. Ross and me are excited to do that, obviously.
Yes, we are.
But Morven Val is a character that was tricked by the ecclesiarchy to be the next I forget exactly what it's called. Ross, you have a brain. I don't right now.
Her title?
Yes.
Damn.
It's Saint Abbess or something like that. I can't remember. Where she's the overall head of the Sisters of Battle. What is it called?
I'll find it in a minute. Sorry. It's the Abbess Sanctorum.
Abbess Sanctorum. I knew Abbess was in there.
Yeah.
But she's the Abbess Sanctorum of the Sisters of Battle by the vote of the ecclesiarchy so that they can manipulate her. So the entire time she played dumb for them And then immediately upon becoming the Abbess Sanctorum, she was just like, right, we need to reorganize the Sisters of Battle. We need to do this, 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 and this. We need a better connection with the Mechanicus. We need more equipment. We need more of this. We need this. And the Ecclesiarchy's like, hey, wait, you're supposed to let us have all that power. And she's like, no. Anyway, Gilliman, the sisters will be accompanying you on all of your crusades. I will assign each and every single one of them and lead personally as a High Lord of Terra into the battle.
The only High Lord who is on the front lines.
She was such a badass that the custodians were just like,
here, take this cool lance.
We love you. Here's a giant lance that our dreadnoughts use potentially, because that's how big it is.
A special lance that we saved just for you.
Because the Sisters of Battle have the respect of the Adeptus Custodes, because the Sisters of Battle don't worship, they worship the Emperor himself, strictly the Emperor, not the Imperium, the Emperor.
Okay, to be clear, the Ecclesiarchy is a million cults in a trench coat. The Sororitas is no different. Each of the orders has their own way of looking at the religion. You are largely correct in that the Emperor is always at the tippy top of their pyramid, right? But they may see him in different ways, like he may be a stern mentor, or he may be a crusading warrior, or he may be, the great statesman. It depends on how their individual order or temple or not chapter, but you know what I mean, group looks at it.
But what I'm getting at is that the Sisters of Battle have actually earned the respect of the custodians, unlike the Space Marines.
Well, Morven Val has specifically. Now, you can thematically extend it out to the sisters in that the Alicia Dominica and her 6 friends were escorted by the custodians into the Emperor's presence and back, and they went on to found the rest of the Sisters of Battle, which we've been talking about the groups that they founded. So, I mean, there's probably a little bit of spillover from that, but I think specifically Morven Val has their respect.
Oh, and Saint Celestine.
Of course, naturally Saint Celestine.
Yeah.
So, that's a very good point. Thank you, Zerg Stir Fry. And Nestor Ritumbra says, I love Sister Argenta's portrayal in Rogue Trader. Hey!
It's so good. I just wish you could romance her.
Clearly a trigger-happy fanatic, but also believes she has a responsibility to protect the defenseless, especially children, and beauty, because she is a pronatus. We're going to be talking about the Order's pronatus, and the fact that they have Sister Argenta is actually a really big help for their ranking on this list, because Sister Argenta is awesome. Good point out. We will be talking about them. I did go back and look at a little more of my notes on the Valorous Heart. So if I may, I will try to make the case for maybe why the Valorous Heart is a little cooler than we think. Alexis,
that's me.
What that is you. What is the order that has the most Sisters of Pentia?
It's either Valorous Heart or oh my god.
It is in fact the Valorous Heart.
Yeah, it is. Because that's their detachment, is the penitent host.
Well, the thing is, the reason why, and this is important, their founding saint, Lucia, one of Alicia Dominica's companions, she was the most penitent of the women who confronted the Emperor. She was the one who was like, oh shit, we done fucked up and we need to pay for that. So her doctrine and her order, they carry the burden of what the daughters of the Emperor did under Goj Van Dyer's influence. They treat their hardships and wounds and defeats and personal failings as an opportunity to repay a debt that can never truly be cleared. So they are the bearers of the cross, if you want to think of it that way. They have a cross to bear, right? And they believe that they deserve to suffer because suffering is the only honest response to the original sin of the Sororitas. So that is kind of cool. I gotta admit,
that is really cool.
That's actually kind of more interesting.
Also, another slight tangent, but every time I see a Sister of Battle Repentia cosplayer and they have armor pieces on, I want to yell at them. Sisters of Battle Repentia are almost completely naked. Like, that's the whole thing, is that they get rid of everything.
Well, okay. Again, this is like basically the depiction in models has been that way, true.
And in artwork.
And in artwork, yeah. All right, so I think though you can sum up the Valorous Heart by saying they think the entire sisterhood is still guilty of serving Goj Van Dyer, and they're trying to pay for it in blood. That's pretty cool. I want to elevate them from C to B.
You know what? I agree with that. I like that. Also, Repentia are still on the tabletop, 140 points, absolutely brutal unit because they get to reroll to hit, reroll to wound, and if you use Intrensia Freya, which is definitely supposed to be Freya, you can actually get them with lethal hits, which is nuts. They're really, really good right now, and I think a lot of people are sleeping on them. And that's coming from me as a tournament player. I recently took out a whole bunch of orcs with them, and I had a ton of fun. Like I got hit with Gosgol, and I killed all of his boys and his pain boy in one round of combat with just the Repentia plus the Sacristans. But yeah.
So we got a super chat from Josina Question who says, "Let's build a Sister Battle Order militant." I'm adding it to the list because that would be cool. I would actually like to build a Order militant for the Sisters of Battle. That would be great. I have added it to the list, so we will see that as a possibility in the future for you guys to vote on. And just as a reminder, there will be a poll going up right after the show for next week, which is a Lore Court episode. You can vote on what we cover there. There is currently a poll running for Saturday's show because I'm a little late. It's my fault. But go vote on that. Hopefully you'll pick Latar Saren because I know we both really want to talk about Latar Saren.
I feel so bad for people who want Sisters of Battle to have Feelinid sisters, and it's just like, no. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but no, they would kill them.
That's a tough road to hoe. Because technically Felinids are abhumans / mutants, and the Ecclesiarchy, specifically the Ecclesiarchy, is very down on all of those things. The Guard is the one that's the most like open to abhumans, and we have a whole episode on abhumans. And even then, they're treated very poorly. So the most accepted you can get is to be like a soldier who fights alongside the Sisters of Battle, and even then, like there would be a lot of attention. I believe
still want my kill team abhumans.
That would be awesome. That's what I really want to see for sure.
Yeah, like
I'm down.
It's 10 abhumans, 2 of which are Felinids. 1 is a shark man. You get an Ogren in there. You get a Rattling Sniper in there. You get those weird like.
They already have a Rattling kill team.
Well, yes, but I'm saying like this kill team would be like all of the different variations.
Fair enough. Okay. A new Rattling, a new Ogren, plus a whole bunch of Afriel Strain and Glad Warrior, all that other stuff. That'd be kind of fun.
Throw a vampire in there.
Oh God, no!
People.
What would that would be a reason for people to buy that shit, though. They would buy that box if there was a vampire in it.
Just saying.
Space vampire. Let's talk about the Order of the Bloody Rose. The Order of the Bloody Rose.
Blood Angels.
These are founded in the memory of Saint Mina. They are the most intensely aggressive and warlike. I guess they really want to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and they're all out of bubblegum.
Ross, do you want to hear my favorite bit of lore about the Bloody Rose?
Go for it.
So, normal sisters pray and are, trying to calm their mind, almost in a sense of meditation. Do you remember that scene from the that one Star Wars game with the protege to Darth Vader?
Starkiller?
Yeah.
Jedi.
Yeah, where he's sitting there and he's just angrily putting together his lightsaber and he's like super furious and everything.
I forget which game that was. I'm sorry. I'm not up on my Star Wars video games as much as I'd like to be.
That right there is the Bloody Rose. They go around telling each other, they rage bait each other to constantly keep themselves angry so that they are more efficient on the battlefield. They are essentially the world leaders of Sisters of Battle, the Kakaradons of Sisters. They are like, I absolutely love them because they're so strong. They can go toe to toe with Space Marines in combat with their aggression and kill them. Now I'm not saying they'll win every single fight, obviously, but they are crazy powerful, and I love the fact that they all just rage bait each other. It's so funny.
Well, they are presented as the most melee forward of the 6 major orders, and describing them as world eaters is I mean, on the Venn diagram, there's some overlap. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
Mina is remembered. She's the most passionately furious of the companions, and the Sisters of the Bloody Rose were another group of sisters might say, well, this enemy is a problem that we need to contain. The Bloody Rose is like, no, we have to confront them and condemn them and cut them down to the last.
Mm-hmm.
The Bloody Rose, they believe that the Emperor's love is not a gentle love. It is a fire that destroys everything trying to harm humanity. These are the hardliners of the Sisters of Battle. They're not mindless assault troops, though. They're
surprisingly cunning.
Well, but they're also, how do I put this? Their battle rage is not so much fury as it is passion, right? They believe that mercy towards the unrepentant is cruelty towards the faithful, right? There's a sacramental quality to their aggression, if that makes sense.
I think one of my favorite tidbits of lore about them is that they're so savvy with on battlefields because they prefer getting into close combat with the enemies or close range firefights with the enemies, that they have to be of tactical mind to get around enemies, get through defenses, and actually get into the enemy's lines to fight them. And this often takes enemies by surprise that the sisters are already here. They emphasize close assaults. They have tons of Zephyrum. They specialize in fast lightning attacks, hit and run tactics, as well as just getting into your opponent's face and hitting them with a giant chainsword. They're just so much fun. I love them.
They do have a cool historical beat as well, but we have a super chat to read from Seb Hutchins. Welcome, Seb Hutchins. Order the Valor's Heart also don't take anything to numb the pain when getting surgery or amputations, if I recall, because to endure suffering is to show the power of faith. So they deserve an S tier. He paid for it. S tier it is for Order of the Valor's Heart. Congratulations, you have shifted them up.
I do agree with that because they want to know the suffering that their saint went through, which is pretty cool. But man, the Bloody Rose is so cool. I love them. It is a shame that they do not have a character like on the tabletop. They should have a melee focused, like cannon-ass dual wielding chainswords. I don't care that it's impractical. I want that.
So let's talk about that historical beat. There is a campaign, Saint Aspira's campaign against the heretic Deniskira. Aspira was the 18th canoness of the Bloody Rose, and she led around 1,000 sisters against the dominion of this heretic and liberated nearly 100 worlds with 1,000 sisters of battle. That's pretty awesome. That is an almost absurdly heroic story of an imperial crusade. Now, can you take that at face value? Probably not. It's probably apocryphal. It's probably like a very strong, like this is a cool legend that will maybe help spread the faith of the emperor, but it's a very, very cool legend nevertheless. 1,000 sisters versus 100 planets. We got this. So
I mean, right now in current lore, the Bloody Rose is fighting 3 major battles against High Fleet Leviathan, High Fleet Hydra, and the Thousand Suns. Cult of Duplicity, strictly. And while they're not winning per se, because those battles are ongoing, they are not losing. They are holding.
Face Octopus asks, are we ignoring this orders of Sororitas that mostly set out of battle like the Dialogus? We are not. They are on the list. We will be getting to them. We're just covering the major orders first, and then we'll get to the orders minoris. I made sure to include all of them on the list. So yes, I'm thinking of you, buddy. Face Octopus, appreciate you. All right. Where would you place the Bloody Rose?
So
unfortunately, they still lack the named character problem.
Yes, but they are incredibly cool. They are fighting in the Great Rift right now. They are fighting in almost every major war zone. I think they're even fighting on Armageddon currently.
Armageddon.
Which, if you don't know, the Bloody Rose, not the Bloody Rose, the Order of Our Martyred Lady lost thousands of sisters on the third war of Armageddon, and now we're on the fourth.
It depends on who you believe.
Yeah, of course. Um, I I know where I'm putting them.
Okay.
Cool color scheme, cool models, cool battlefield rules, and everything. I'm putting them in A tier.
Ooh, I wouldn't put them at high. I'd say top of B.
Top of B.
Yeah, I'd say top of
No,
B.
no special characters is kind of hindering them.
Yeah, well, and you talk. I mean, you set the criteria. I didn't do. I didn't
I
set the
did.
criteria.
I did. I think if they did have something like a living saint, it should be a for like the tabletop game, it should be a relic, a once per game relic that gives them something similar to like the Space Marine Captain or the Lord Exaltant, where it gives them an additional bunch of attacks that deal devastating wounds, or like the Palatine, to be honest, because she does that already. Uh could be really cool to, emphasize their ferocity.
Nestor Retumber says they need a special character, Sister Karn, who is just Karn with a wig.
Karn already has a Miku wig.
All right. So that's the Order of the Bloody Rose. Let's talk now about what's the next one on the list? It is the Order of the Ebon Chalice.
Ooh, Ebon Chalice.
This is founded in the memory of Saint Dominica. It is the first order created on Terra. It is their homeworld is in fact Holy Terra. And they are especially rigid, orthodox, and devoted to preserving the foundational principles of the Adeptus Sororitas. These are the most conservative of the sisters.
One of my favorite tidbits of lore about them is that they're the ones that go around the Segmentum Solar and get rid of all the mutants, all the heretics, and all the Xenos. And they have a habit of finding them very quickly, even finding traces of chaos faster than, well, even sometimes faster than the Grey Knights do. It's almost like they're divinely guided to them.
Ooh, I don't see any characters for them on either, which is unfortunate.
Ebon Chalice, let's see.
Alicia Dominica was the founder, though, so they do have the best of the founders. They have the tippy top founder.
No,
all the rest,
nothing that's really sticking out. But they do have the lore that is very, very, very incredibly controversial and stupid.
What is that?
That they had their sisters slaughtered by the Grey Knights so that the Grey Knights can put their blood all over their armor so that they could banish a demon.
Oh, that's gross. Yeah, I do remember that. That is kind of a weird
thanks,
piece of
Matt
lore.
Ward.
So, one really cool fact about the Ebon Chalice that I can share is that they are in the Calixis sector, and they have a Palatine named Rhiannon, who is the commander of their particular preceptory within the Calixis sector. The Calixis sector is, of course, the setting for Dark Heresy. And what's interesting about this is that Calixis is an older, archaic way to say chalice. So the Ebon Chalice being in the Chalice sector is really cool. It's very thematic. They are outside of the Calixis sector, outside of the link to Dark Heresy, though. They still are kind of interesting because they are the very first, the doctrinally first Sisters of Battle, right? They are the most institutionally authoritative. Okay.
I'm going to check what their detachment does.
So their founder,
I forget what it does.
Their founder, Alicia Dominica, is the patron saint of all of the Adeptus Sororitas. So there's some cachet there. There's some swagger that they have, right? But they, I don't know. They do have, the thing about Alicia is she was remembered as the bearer of the Grail of Ages, which was part of the. It's supposed to be tied to the final confrontation with Gotra and Dyer. It's supposed to be one of the Sisterhood's most significant sacred relics. And you probably have someone out there going, supposed to be. Of course it is. It is the most. Well, I mean, this is all from thousands of years ago, and the Reign of Blood was, very tumultuous time for record keeping. Let's just put it that way.
I really want a Reign of Blood Black Library series.
I would love a miniature game set in that game. Time.
Yeah. Like give me like 5 or 6 books set in that. Also, there's Kovu in the background.
So from the role-playing perspective, I think the thing that's kind of cool about the the Evan Chalice, is that these are the ones you would turn to for your internal affairs investigators, right? These are the ones who, hey, another. This is the guy who asked about who would work with the Inquisition. The Evan Chalice might, because they are definitely about that purity, right? And there's definitely Inquisitors who are also about that purity.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, for me, it's a strong C, but that's about as far as I'd go.
I, if we could put them at the bottom of C, I think I would. Like,
Even though they have the most important founder.
And they're really cool because they're set in, the Soul Sector, and they are really, really good at rooting out demons, mutants, and heretics. Somehow they didn't root out, the Gene Stealer cult on Terra, but, I digress. Then again, that one would be a really hard, yeah.
IDEF points out that they also have a Codex cover art.
They do.
That's helpful. I'm going to say top of C. You can always move around IDEF if you think I got it wrong, but that's where I'm kind of at. Is I feel like they're kind of eh. And when we're talking about, to be clear, there's a lot of names being thrown at us from the chat. To be clear, like these, we're talking about named characters who have models. Those are our first and foremost, because those are the ones that are closest. They're core lore, if you will. If you're like, hey, I heard about this one lady in an audio drama one day. Okay, cool, that's great. It technically is part of the lore, but it is definitely more out towards the fringe of the Venn diagram. It is not at the center of the Venn diagram. So we're trying to rank these based on the ones that have models, because that's going to be the ones that are the most accurate and steady for the 40K's universe. Also, Alexis and I, we're humans. We can't read every book or listen to every audio drama, so we're doing our best here based on what we can encapsulate in our tiny little brains, which is, in fact, the models. So it's nothing personal, guys, but we are going to stick to that for the most part. All right, now we're going to talk about the Argent Shroud. The Argent Shroud, which sounds like that character from Fallout 4. The Silver Shroud. All right, these are also on Holy Terra, which is pretty cool.
And they have arguably the second most important sister of battle.
Right, Morvenn Vahl, which we have talked about. These this group is founded in the memory of Saint Sylvana, and they are known for their urgency, their speed at which they take action, their unwavering sense of a mission and a goal. Once they're given a duty, they prosecute it with remarkable resolve and rapid movement, which they're the White Scars, I guess, but cooler.
Yeah, sort of the White Scars.
They have a really cool silver color scheme as well. I actually do appreciate the color scheme of silver, which of course has its own thematic links to purity and things like that. They're the rapid response crusaders,
Yeah, they're the White Scars.
So for them, for the Argent Shroud, a mission is a vow. And a vow is already completed in the Emperor's sight. They just have to make reality catch up to where the Emperor already is, and that's why they're so zealous in their stuff. They do have Morvenn Vahl. Morvenn Vahl is the High Lord of Terra. Not only that, she has a great model. She has she has a really cool special vigilator warsuit and a special lance given to her by the Custodes, which we talked about earlier. The Argent Shroud, they tend to look at something that's impossible and say, okay, that's just a scheduling problem. We will get to that.
Yep. I absolutely love the Argent Shroud. I think they're really, really cool, like aesthetically pleasing sister of battle army. Again, another very easy army to paint. They also just have Morvenn Vahl. Like I don't know how, like she's so important to the setting. Also, they commit a lot of their companies to like war zones. They're not like other Sisters of Battle where they send like 1 to 3 to sometimes 5. In just the War of Armageddon, they sent 7 companies to Armageddon. Now, granted, we don't know the size of a Sister of Battle company. We do know the size of a Sister of Battle commandery, which is 1,000 sisters. So this could be anywhere from 1,000 sisters to 7,000 Sisters of Battle to Armageddon alone. Again, these numbers are up in the air because GW doesn't communicate to each other when they write these things. Just putting that out there.
So
but
for
they
me,
do commit a lot of sisters.
For me, I'm going to say A is for Argent Shroud.
A is for Argent Shroud. I agree with that. I think they're. I think what's doing a lot of the heavy lifting is the fact that they have Morven Fall.
That is no doubt a big part of why they're so high on this tier list. Without her, I think they'd be lower. But she is a great character. She's a great model. She has great lore. I'm all in. I'm all in on Morven Fall.
Just to put this out there, you can't build a functional Sister of Battle list without Morven Fall. Like, she is so instrumental to them actually being able to win a game that you desperately need them.
All right, now we're down to our last of the Order's militants, the big boys. We're down to the last one, the big girls, I guess in this case. The Order of the Sacred Rose. Dun, dun, dun.
The Sacred Rose is one of my favorites. Okay,
and they're all your favorite. This.
Yes. So, do you want to know why I like the Sacred Rose so much?
Well, tell me.
Because they're the first ones to ever appear in a video game.
Oh, were they the ones in Dawn of War?
They were the first Sisters of Battle seen in Dawn of War, and they were known for killing their allies because they did not view them as pure enough. They also had a living saint with them, Saint Denias.
Right, which we've never heard from again.
Unfortunately, yes. I wonder if there's any other lore about Saint Denias. I'm gonna check for that really quickly while you describe the Sisters of the Sacred Rose.
Fair enough. So they were founded in the memory of Saint Arabella, and they are noted for calm discipline, composure under pressure, and devotional focus. These are your most nun of nuns with guns. They preserve order amidst chaos through prayer, small c chaos, through prayer and ritual and steady resolve. They are not so much about the overt fury and the overt zeal, but they are the calm-hearted ones. But they are kind of quietly terrifying because they're also absolutists. They are so certain of the Emperor's ultimate judgment. They don't need to rage or panic or boast or hate. They believe the Emperor alone judges, and that the Sacred Rose, they don't claim to be righteous. They make themselves the instrument through which the judgment arrives, which I think is pretty cool. So when you have a person who's got no doubt, no fear, and no need to raise her voice before ordering a purge of flame, go for the Sacred Rose.
So, unfortunately, Saint Denias is only ever mentioned in Soulstorm. She's not even mentioned in the other expansions, which is a shame.
Saint Anais, Anais.
Yeah, Saint Anais.
No. No. What's interesting is their armor is completely white. They are so the Bloody Rose is the red rose. This is the white rose. Okay. And you shouldn't read a rose's softness when it comes to this Sisters of Battle, because it is about purity and the promise of salvation. It is not about them being soft, retiring flowers. Although I'm sure there is some in-joke or pun you could probably make about the fact that they are, the roses of the Emperor or whatever. They do have a fairly well-developed Black Library protagonist who's been in a lot of books.
Which one is that?
I believe that's Aveline.
Yeah, I think it's Aveline. Isn't Sarah in a couple of books too?
I don't know.
I think Hanna Sarah's in a few books.
This is where like too many books comes into play. Like I can't keep them all in my head. But they are about the calm, ritualized violence. So here we go again. I think unfortunately this is, for me, just a C tier. Like they're cool, but are they cooler than David Chalice? Not really. Are they cooler than the Bloody Rose? Probably not really. I'd say this may be the most bland (?) of all of the Order's militants.
They were in the most recent animation Penitent, which is really cool, and it showed how brutalistic they could be.
Oh, Aveline has a model. Okay. Now
Yeah,
that
she
I did
does.
not
I
know.
have her model, but she's already moved to Legends, which, yeah, that kind of sucked. I kind of do wish they would make her an actual model. That would be really cool.
Well, they have.
Um,
If she has a model, then she has a model, right?
she has a model, but it's a Legends model because it's a Black Library model and not a Citadel model,
Oh,
if
that's
that
a
makes
really
sense.
cool. It's a very good looking model. That's a
Hmm.
damn good looking model. Okay, you know what? You got me, bro. You got me. B tier. You got me.
I I will admit that Saint Anias is very clearly supposed to be Saint Celestine, but GW did not give him the green light to use Saint Celestine, so they made a living saint of their own, which is totally reasonable. It's cool that they actually got to use one of the official color schemes for the Sisters of Battle because Dawn of War wasn't given the green light to use the Space Marine, the Blood Angels, which is what they wanted to use. They weren't okayed for that. Then they weren't okayed for the Raven Guard, so they made the Blood Ravens, which is just they just mashed them both together and were just like, there we go, we have a chapter of Space Marines now. But the Sisters of Battle did actually get an official chapter or official order in the actual games themselves, where like none of the other factions had. Well, we did have the Alpha Legion, which was pretty cool. Weird that it was an Alpha Legion, but sure. I just think I think them being present in a video game is very, very cool.
Well, that is also true of our next option, which is the Order of the Sacred Oath. Sorry,
The
Crimson Oath.
order.
Order of the Crimson Oath.
Okay, the Order of the Red Oath. Got it.
Yes. So you guys probably haven't heard of this one. It's very obscure. This is what's called a deep cut, everybody. And I will be honest, I added this in for purely personal reasons. The Order of the Crimson Oath, they are a very minor order militant and with very little published lore. And almost all of it is from the Deathwatch role-playing game because they are part of the Achilles Crusade into the Jericho Reach. That is a very brutal frontier war environment. They are the oath-bound expeditionary sisters, if you will. Their identity is not formed by grand convent politics, but by taking vows to go where the Imperium is stretched thinnest and where dying worlds need a small but self-contained core of fanatics. There's not much to go on here. I would not be surprised if any of you have ever heard of these guys. It's fine. This is
I
this
didn't
is
even hear of
Ross
this.
this is Ross just being like, hey, here, don't forget about the Crimson Oath. They exist.
Yeah,
And yeah, they actually journeyed across the galaxy because the warp gate that links the Jericho Reach goes back to the Calixis sector as well. So it is a truly cross the galaxy in order to fight for the Emperor moment, which is pretty cool. They weren't sent to win the crusade, to be clear, but they were sent to keep the promise of the Emperor's faith alive within it.
I mean
I
that's
don't know.
pretty cool.
I like it. It's I'm if you want to put this in D tier, it's not going to hurt my feelings. There is tiny little pieces of lore, no actual characters, no actual paint scheme, but at least they were here to be mentioned. They were part of the tier list. They got to participate, and I'm okay with that.
They did get here, and that's important.
Oh, never to be to the nepotism order. Yeah. I mean, I'm guilty. As the creator of the Achilles Crusade, as the guy in charge of Deathwatch, I was like, I kind of have to. I owe it to these girls. I sent them across the galaxy to fight.
I just hope you
So,
didn't do what a lot of GW writers do, include the Sisters of Battle only to get them killed to make the enemy look stronger.
well, lots of people died in the Achilles Crusade, to be fair. But I don't think we singled out the sisters for any reason. Participation tier, yep, that's like I said, it's legit. D tier is legit. All right, now one more is the Order of the Opening Eye. Now, this is part of the Orders Famulus, so we could do the Orders Famulus first if you'd rather.
Yeah, let's do the Orders Famulus.
All right, so we'll talk about now we're in the Orders Minoris, everybody. This is the non-fighting part of the Sisters of Battle.
Which still annoys me that they gave the damn Hospitaller a gun. That bugs the shit out of me in 40K right now. I refuse to use it even if it will win me a game because the Hospitallers are not supposed to have weapons.
Why don't you tell us about the Orders Hospitaller?
So the Orders Hospitaller are the like medics of the Sisters of Battle as well as the ecclesiarchy as a whole. They are specially trained to, well, deal with almost any type of ailment. And they have a way of helping with fight against demonic diseases as well, because they are sisters of battle. Well, they're sisters. They're not sisters of battle, they're sisters. This this way of healing is so different than almost any other type of healing, because they can fight chaotic diseases as well as treat normal diseases as well. Some of them are trained in what is it called? The de-aging process of 40K,
Juvenat
rejuvenat.
treatments. Yeah.
Some of them are trained in that to help canonesses keep leading up into the later years of their lives. Some of them are used to treating like horrific injuries, limb replacement, all sorts of things, skin grafts, and everything. And they can do this on a battlefield, which is pretty badass.
I do want to push back on one thing, Alexis. The Hospitallers certainly can fight.
Oh yeah,
they are certainly trained to fight as well. I mean, they have training. They know which end of a bolt gun the round comes out of.
Yes.
They are not on the front lines. They are not part of the battle lines. But there's actually a really great book about Armageddon, in fact, where some Black Templars run into a Sister Hospitaller who's like, give me a bolt pistol. I will make sure that none of the orcs get to the wounded. Mm-hmm. So they will fight, and they can fight. It's just that's not their primary role.
Yeah, what I'm saying is it's dumb that GW gave them a bolt pistol when they're not supposed to have weapons normally. It bugs me as a Sister Battle fan, because there's actually a line from one of the Janice Drake books where the Rejuvenat agent talks about her time served with the sisters, where she's just like, yeah, they trained us to run away from combat and all this other stuff, and I'm not a pacifist, so I left. And I'm just like, that's awesome. I love that shit. She wasn't a sister at the time. She was just being trained in the Scholar Progenium alongside them.
Yeah, their orders Hospitaller are far cooler when you stop thinking of them as just the medical sisters, because they are sacred trauma surgeons. They are the witnesses of what occurs on the battlefield. They are the keepers of the line between mercy and survival. They are non-militant, but that doesn't mean, as he was pointing out, it doesn't mean harmless or civilian. They are expert surgeons and nurses, and they do operate across a large swath of Imperial society and the military institutions. You can find Sisters Hospitaller with Adeptus Arbites. You can find them with the Imperial Guard. You can find them with the Tempestus Scions. You can find them with most military forces in the Imperium.
Now, importantly, they still have power armor on. They can still just take your head and crush it.
That's true. Their pattern is a different pattern, though, to be clear, than the standard Sororitas power armor.
Yeah, it's a lighter variant of it.
So they don't really need to, they are where the war has already done the worst that it can do, basically. Hospitallers prove their faith by spending 24 hours beneath artillery fire, operating on guardsmen that she know may return to the line tomorrow, and then giving the dying pain relief, last rites, and dignity when there's nothing left to give. So that's pretty cool. They are compassionate, but they're not typically naive. And their mercy does include some authority, because their triage, let's put it this way, they triage fairly aggressively. Like, that guy is not going to live, let's just euthanize him. That guy's going to make it, but we have to cut off the legs, just cut off the leg, right?
One of my favorite things is they will look at a person who's dying, keep them alive just long enough to transfer their organs into somebody else that will live if they have their organs. Which is sick, and I love that kind of shit.
Now,
they are dark.
One of the books I have read about the Sororitas is Faith and Fire by James Swallow, and there is a really cool character, Sister Verity, who's part of that. There's no model for her, so unfortunately, I'm not sure we can count it, because I did say that we're mostly focusing on ones with models. But they, I think there's a strong role-playing link here. Like, if you wanted to role-play in 40K as a healer, the Sister Hospitaller is one of the best ways to do that.
Mm-hmm.
The healing and that kind of healing and nursing and surgery, that is their core, right? That's really what they're about. They are the battlefield doctors. They are the surgeons. Whereas a apothecary in the Space Marines, that's not his primary purpose. His primary purpose is to recover the gene seed. So if you want to be that kind of character, the Orders Hospitallers where you go. They are non-militant, but they're not soft. They are more than just the healer nuts.
Yeah,
So
they're just
yeah,
badasses, and I
they're
love them.
they're
Also,
cool.
they wield a thing called the Narthesium. Now, you know exactly what a Narthesium is, but Narthesiums are sick. For one, they have a chainsaw on them. This chainsaw is for cutting open power armor to try to get to the injuries beneath them and try to help people. They have a syringe that's filled with synth skin as well as all types of pain suppressants, and it can switch based on the needs of the operation at the time.
It's
This
not an
weapon,
Arthesium, to be clear.
they do carry an Arthesium.
No, it's Chirurgian's tools, which is similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But the Narthetium is a signature device of the Space Marine Apothecary.
Is it not? I'm pretty sure they wield. Hang on, I'll double check it.
Yeah, please do, because I think it's changed a couple of times.
Yeah, because it goes back and forth between the two. Let me double check it. So this one, it's the Chirurgeon's tools.
Yeah, Chirurgian's tools is that's what I remember it being. It's Narthesium like. Well, okay, apparently there is an Arthesium in the kit listing. Okay, so it is. So then, yeah, it's back to Narthesiums. Yes, it is. It's just slightly different. It's different. It is important to point out that it is different because I don't believe that their Narthesiums are equipped to extract gene seed, whereas the apothecary's ones is.
Yeah, the apothecary one is strictly for extracting gene seed. But the
so it is actually an Arthesium, but I think in the past it has been not. So yeah, that's why I was like double checking it.
It's very weird because this is a piece of war gear that does go back and forth quite a bit. Because sometimes even the guard have an Arthesium, and that doesn't make any sense at all. But then they changed it recently to a med kit, which, okay, sure. But yeah.
6 of Sun 77 points out. He says, I was wondering if there was anyone in 40K that would actually consider mercy a positive thing. Okay, it is a range, right? So there will be some hospitallers who will say, oh, this is an abhuman. We don't really have a lot of mercy for that guy. You know, he will be triaged last, or a mutant, right, would be triaged last, possibly, like beastmen, because some beastmen do serve in the Imperial Guard. But there are also probably, you could consider hospitallers as the ones who are the most merciful of the Sisters Battle. These are probably the most kind-hearted of their kind. Although, again, I mean, I'm sure there are some that are standouts as being particularly not merciful. But anyway, I'm just saying, I'm thinking you're generally right, but not always right.
There is also the case that a lot of sisters are incredibly sexist and prefer operating on men or on sisters or on women rather than men.
Yeah, that's certainly possible.
Because there are stories where Sisters of Battle will not go in dropships with men. Like, and I think that is hilarious because there's no men under arms.
Okay,
they've
to be clear, that's not all sisters. That's one group.
Yeah, but I love the fact that exists in 40K because it shows a like sexism that most people are not aware of, which is sexism against men because it's never written about. And I absolutely love that. That's why when I first started 8th edition, I had to find for the Loyal 32, that was the part of the meta at the time. You brought 32 guardsmen, 2 commanders, and then 3 units of guardsmen. And one of the big things is I made sure that every single guardsman I had was a woman because they wouldn't fight alongside the men. I thought that was hilarious.
Rush 21129 is asking about the hospitallers, whether they deploy en masse, but also individually. Yes, there are medical camps where hospitallers will gather in numbers, but they will also deploy individually alongside certain groups, like the Inquisition.
It's not stated that they did it during the Plague Wars, but they do run into a couple of hospitallers in the Plague Wars on the hospital planets, on the Paradise Worlds.
So Rush is asking, do the major orders have their own hospitaller orders within themselves? Yes, asterisk. The orders Minoris can exist outside of any other support. You can just run into a group of Sisters Hospitaller with no other Sisters Battle nearby. That is certainly possible. There are churches that are just for this particular order. However, the Sisters of Battle, the major orders, the orders militants, they absolutely have hospitaller orders within them. They have subgroups, right? That you can look at the Order of the Valorous Heart, for example, and they're not just all nuns with guns. There are going to be orders Famulus and orders Dialogus and orders Hospitaller amongst them, but they are like seconded to the Valorous Heart. They are part of the Valorous Heart, but they are also part of their specific Minoris order. So
also, GW missed a perfectly good opportunity to give the Hospitaller a needle pistol. It would have been perfect for them.
yeah,
But I'm just imagining trying to deliver the Emperor's Mercy with a bolt gun. So you're just trying to like shoot the guy in the head, and his whole body just explodes because it's a bolt round.
It's not exactly a surgical weapon. Yeah.
No, like it would be more merciful for them to just stomp on your head at that point. It'd make less of a mess.
Correct.
There are several orders of Hospitaller that I do want to talk about. There's the Order of the Eternal Candle, the Order of Serenity, the Order of Cleansing Water, the Order of the Torch. So there are several orders of Hospitallers that are overseen by the Chirurgeon General, which is such a funny name.
Again, they make great role-playing game characters because they can interact with a lot of different levels of Imperial Society, a lot of different formations of different military groups. They can be on Imperial Navy ships. They can be in Imperial Guard units. They can be with the Tempestus Scions. They can be with basically anyone except Space Marines.
Yeah.
And even Space Marine will probably be like, you know what, tag along with us until we get you back to the front lines, or wherever you need to be. Because they won't just, typically, most Space Marines will not just be like, yeah, you're on your own. But some will. Iron Hands will, for example.
Yeah, definitely Iron Hands. Possibly even Blood Angels, just because they'll outspeed her.
Depends. Like I said, it's I'm trying to stick with what is generally true without getting down all the rabbit holes of where the exceptions lie. Let's talk about orders Famulus, if you'd like.
Well, we gotta rank the Order Hospitaller.
Oh, we do. Yeah, derp. I'm sorry.
Now, I will say that they have had a model in 3 different editions that have lasted all the way from Rogue Trader till now, which is really cool. They didn't have a model in Rogue Trader. They had a model in 2nd edition, then a model in 5th edition, then a model in or around 5th edition, then a model in 8th edition.
Are you sure they had a model in 2nd?
I'm pretty sure their model is from 2nd.
I don't think so.
Hang on, let me check when this model is from.
I think their first one was 3rd or 4th.
Is it 3rd? Let me double check. When did this model come out? When did the Hospitaller come out?
Sorry, guys, double checking because I really don't think so. But for me, I would put him in bottom of B.
I have reason to put them higher, but I want to check this really quickly. I have my microphone right in front of my keyboard, so it's really hard to type. I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah, I don't. 2nd edition, they did not have one. 3rd edition did have one. 4th edition had one. New plastic one was 2019.
The original model is from 1998 in 3rd edition.
Yeah, and the other one was 2019, so they're 21 years apart. Hey.
Modern redesign was 2020, and yeah, they've had 3 models. 4 if you count the Finecast, but
so the third one, to be clear, is from the Sister Novitiates kill team. And that is technically a Novitiates Hospitaller.
Yes. There's also the. No,
Those are the 3.
Well,
those are the 3. The 3.
Uh,
And 4 if you count Finecast, which I really don't think we should.
yeah. If you count Finecast, then yes. But I don't like Finecast at all. I don't think anyone ever did.
So I'm
Okay.
gonna say B for me. What's your case for A?
So they are absolutely one of the strongest units in 11th edition right now. They are in every single army list. You
They're
see at
awesome on the
least 2.
tabletop. That's why.
You even in earlier editions of 40K, Hospitalers were extremely good. Hospitalers plus Sacristans has been around for 4 years now and is still really powerful. I think because they're so necessary for Sisters of Battle and so like recognizable on the tabletop, I think they belong in top of A.
I'll give you that. Having 3 distinct models, I think for there is pretty good. Top of A though, I think Archer Shroud's cooler. Morphin Vol.
Yeah, okay. A
Morphin
tier.
Vol. Yeah, sorry.
Because
Morphin Vol is too strong to beat that.
I think it comes down to, for me, like Hospitalers have always been like one of the coolest aspects of Warhammer 40K because I love the idea that, oh no, you're too injured, crushes your head, walks around, tries to heal another sister, like sees a sister get her arm ripped off, and she's just like, all right, is that sister fine? Yeah, she's using a miracle to be fine. Okay, I can wait a little bit. Okay, the miracle died off and she exploded. Dang it. I didn't get there in time.
Devin Urbina points out that they are the most well-known non-militant order. That's a good point. Oh, hey, Exiled One is asking you, by the way, Alexis, what is the way to change the results of the tier lists?
So, if you do not like the way that we are gauging this tier list and you're just like, nah, Bloody Rose is the coolest, their armor is salmon and not red for some reason in their artwork, that still bugs me. That really bugs me, by the way. And you're like, Argent Shroud belongs in A tier, or Bloody Rose belongs in D tier because they're dumb and stupid and I hate them. For a $10 donation, you can throw them anywhere you want. And for an additional $10, you can give them a shield so that they are protected. Okay. I think that's it.
All right, let's start with the Orders Famulus. If you guys want to, don't forget super chat us and we will move those things around. But in the meantime, Orders Famulus. These guys they're definitely more scholarly than the other Sisters of Battle because they are the ones that deal with education and marriage, succession, etiquette, alliances. This is the Bene Gesserit's version without psychic powers. This is the Bene Gesserit version of the Sisters of Battle, right? They are the ones that operate in the courts of power. They're the chamberlains and diplomats and tutors and advisors. They are usually embedded with planetary governors and noble families to keep those elites loyal to the emperor. And they have orchestrated various attempts at interbreeding. They have overseen some breeding programs, shall we say. Like, this is the Bene Gesserit part, right? This is like, they're not trying to make a Kwisatz Haderach, but they are guiding certain bloodlines together. Let's put it that way. Oh, we've got a super chat from the Exile One. Boom, $10. Bloody Rose to the bottom of A, please. Oh,
I'm okay with that. I want the Bloody Rose to be higher.
Exiled One. I'm only curious to why. I'm not gonna object. There's no objection here, no judgment. I'm just curious. But why?
I won't object. Tell me.
I would like to know why. That's all. All right. So where was I? Right. The Famulus. So the other thing that they do is they do tend to keep an eye on some of the noble houses because when you have that much power and wealth, you tend to drift towards treason and corruption or heresy, or sometimes just being like really, really, really bad at your job. Incompetence is a thing that they watch for as well.
I forgot that this is the Order of the Maids.
Yes, they really are. But again, I'd say that the touchstone is Bene Gesserit from Dune.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, technically they are maids.
Yes, they're more like nannies.
Well, they're the diplomats as well. Like they're courtiers, right? They're political officers and intelligence assets and matchmakers and counter coup specialists, if you want to think of it that way. And they've been embedded into dynasties that do control billions of lives. So they are not unimportant.
No, they're very important,
Oh,
especially in their maid outfits.
We're being told we missed 2 super chats before the XL one. We sure
did
did. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh.
Spitfire 703. So sorry. Apologies. It's not a weapon. It's an important symbol of her religion. He's talking about the bolt pistol with the Hospitallers.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much for pointing that out. Thank you, Spitfire, for that super chat. El Monster Exposure says, are the 40k Space Battle Nuns celibate like real nuns? And I'm asking for a friend.
No.
It depends. It depends. Some yes, some no. There's, again, it's 1,000 cults in a trench coat. So some of the preceptories probably do have some rules against fraternization and some don't. Now, Alexis is going to say no, because she has read some books and knows some things. She is an expert on this lore. Tell us why you believe the answer is no.
So Caiaphas Cain has mentioned that the sisters will sleep with guardsmen. Granted, that's Caiaphas Cain. He also calls the Sisters of Battle incompetent, irrational, emperor botherers, as well as man-eaters. He equates them almost to prey mantises, which is impressive that he knows what that is. But there are some sisters that actually have had families. So did they have a family before they became a sister of battle? That's a little weird, because that means that they were a teenager, and that's also very weird, because they were, they were in the Scala Progenium. But yeah, sisters of battle are not entirely celibate. They're also not entirely not celibate. It depends on the order. It depends on the sister. Unfortunately, the one in fucking Rogue Trader is. That's dumb.
All right, so I'm gonna say there's arguments for both sides. On the side of yes, they are celibate. They were originally a group called the Brides of the Emperor. Okay, this comes from the Age of Blood, the Reign of Blood, the Age of Apostasy, and they were very much chosen as bodyguards for Goach Van Dyer because, hey, they were hot women who also could fight. So there is clearly some of that they probably moved away from. I think we can all infer that the idea of them being like, a harem is something they didn't want to be, right? Like afterwards.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Moved away from that.
Secondly, the whole aesthetic of nuns, frankly, is that they are bound by their faith to a figure that is essentially treated like a husband, I guess. I'm not a nun, okay? Don't take everything I say completely seriously. But there's a theme there that would suggest that celibacy is certainly not discouraged, okay? Because they're not hedonists, at least most of them. Maria Sabethia is maybe different. Anyway, now on the side of saying they are maybe not celibate, well, when you're talking about millions of women over thousands of years, it's difficult for me to imagine that being all one or all the other, right? Like, I feel like there's always going to be some exceptions to some people who decide to change or to experience different things. I think it would be unrealistic to assume.
It might be a test of their faith.
I think it'd be unrealistic to assume that all Sisters of Battle are celibate. But I do strongly believe that some orders, some preceptories, depending on the planet or depending on the culture that surrounds them and the individual ways that they practice their faith, some probably do encourage celibacy more than others.
I don't want my sisters to be celibate.
You want Celestine and Greyfax to hook up.
In all fairness, they flat out had a scene where Gilliman called them in. They were both in the same room and their hair was messy. They were doing it. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my god. All right, so the Famulous, like I said, these guys are the ones that do all of the household things. They are the advisors and chamberlains. And a reminder of the noble family's higher duty to the emperor. that is not, unfortunately, super sexy or cool. But from a role-playing perspective, if you wanted to get into some palace intrigue, if you wanted to be, the smooth James Bond style spy, you could do that as an order famulus, as a sister famulus. Because if you can imagine, like, the governor's eldest daughter is about to marry into a neighboring world's dynasty. The match would end a border conflict and it would secure grain shipments for like 3 hive worlds. But the groom's family has fallen under the influence of a cult. Maybe not a chaos cult. Maybe it's a Tau cult. I don't know. But it's a cult. So as a sister famulus, you could accuse them openly, but that would trigger a war, or at least a border skirmish.
I don't see a problem with that.
So you would have to find proof. You'd have to protect the heir. You'd have to isolate any of the compromised courtiers or advisors. And you'd have to use your knowledge of protocol to delay the marriage and maybe arrange for some sort of military escort to accidentally let the groom die, in an accident. So that's grimdark court thriller, in my opinion. That is there's some really fun stuff there that I think you could use in a role-playing game for that.
Now, I will say their official artwork for the Order of Famulus is absolutely drop dead sexy. Just gonna say that. She's in a corset, has like a D cup, pretty nice, in a lot of tights with some like powered armored boots, almost looking like. Not powered armored boots, but they kind of look like it. And all of the artwork for them from the fans have emphasized certain features on them. I will just say it that way. Just gonna say that's pretty
She's got
cool.
Huge tracts of land.
She's got massive influence.
She's got giant eyes.
Weirdly enough, do you know that they're not by Games Workshop, but the Ordo Famulus has a lot of miniatures from other companies that were definitely not. They're definitely meant for Warhammer 40K. Like,
listen, you go to Etsy, type in certain words, you will find some fun models if you want to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they're pretty cool. Honestly, not as cool as Hospitallers probably, but still. Well, let me rephrase. They're cool, but they're more niche than Hospitallers. Okay, so that's why I would give them a B rank.
I am going to be controversial.
High C.
I think top a C.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Hear me out. If they had more ties to the Inquisition, I think they could be way cooler. Because if they were like Eyes of the Emperor sort of deal, where they are sisters of battle that work for like households and everything, but are also spies for the Inquisition, that actually sounds like a really good role play character. Like right there, just boom, there you go.
Yeah, the chat is asking for an image of the Famulus because they're all visual learners.
Can you get the official artwork?
I can, if you would like to talk about maybe the Dialogus for a bit.
Oh my god. So the Dialogus has the ugliest Sister of Battle model ever created. In fact, voted Games Workshop's ugliest miniature ever. And I need to find this because holy cow, is this miniature ugly. Even the new one doesn't do a very good job on it, unfortunately.
Is there an official model for Famulus?
No, there is no official model.
Yeah.
There are other companies that have made models, but no.
So we're talking about
official artwork.
You're talking about fan art, right? Or you're talking about art?
The actual artwork that appears on like the Dark Heresy books.
Yeah, okay. I do have that image. And she's pretty cool. I wouldn't say she's super boobalicious, but she's pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to put that image up.
There we go. Here it is. Where is it?
Hang on. I'm showing the Famulus.
Yep, I got to find the ugliest model ever.
There's the Famulus right there.
Oh no, that's the Dialogus.
Is it?
Yes.
I swear that's okay.
No, that's the Dialogus.
All right, well, I got it wrong.
Yeah.
So what's the Famulus one?
Oh yeah, I can grab it if you want.
Yeah, well, you're probably gonna have to because you know this a little better than me.
Yeah.
On the fan art side.
Well, this isn't fan art.
Well, okay. The official art of a thing I didn't know there was a official art for.
Yeah. Whoops, that's image file. Do I have to?
Oh, I've seen the fan art now. Okay, wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Let me
yep.
stop sharing this really quickly, and then let me.
Oh, there. Yeah, okay. I found the Dark Heresy one. There it is.
Yeah.
I
Here.
did find the Dark Heresy one.
Bop.
That's the one. Yep.
Yeah. She looks amazing. I absolutely love her outfit. Look at that. That's badass.
It's not that far from Betty Gesserit either. If you look at her hat.
The worst part is this looks like an outfit I wear. Like tights, knee-high boots with a corset. Yeah, I just don't wear the thing on my shoulders or the thing on my head.
If you want more, go type in Orders Famulus 40K into Google and turn on your image, and you will see some of the definitely more shapely versions, shall we say?
Yep.
All right.
They emphasize her assets.
This is not a channel where we're going to get into any more detail than that.
Yeah. Anyway, I have to show this Dialogous artwork this Dialogous miniature because this is the worst miniature that Games Workshop has ever made, in my opinion. Aside from some of the ancient miniatures that those of you might know of, let's just say it was part of their D&D line at the time. Those are pretty bad because they're blatantly offensive. This one is bad because it's ugly.
That is the ugly one, yeah.
Look at how hideous that model is.
No capes, she's shouting.
Yep.
God, those eyes. Oh, whoever painted that.
Grocery run outfit. That's not incorrect, and I hate you for it. Not this. I would never wear this. This is horrific. This model is atrocious, and I love how bad it is. I have 3 of this model, mind you.
All right, so the Orders Dialogous. Why are they cool? Because they are the actual scholars. They are the linguists, the cryptographers, the archivists, theologians, and code breakers. So they get to they can learn that if they read the wrong text, they can save the sector or damn it by unleashing something that was buried for 10,000 years. So you can imagine like the like Evie from the 1998 Mummy movie, right? Is a good example of an Orders Dialogous. They're specialists in languages and scholarship. They mostly work in translating and interpreting different languages. There's a really fun moment in one of the Caiaphas K novels where he runs into his sister Dialogous, who's studying the Necron language, and her name is Sister Rosetta, which I just
the Rosetta Stone.
Love it so much. So the Battle Sister is the one that kills the thing that you find in the ruins, but the Sister Dialogous who tells you what it was, what it worshipped, and why killing it may have activated all of the tomb's defenses. Now the shorthand is they are the library nuns, but they're actually the person that brings you into the sealed vaults, where every symbol could be a trap, every translation might be easily misinterpreted as fighting words. And the only thing standing between the expedition and catastrophe is whether or not she understands how to speak the dead language to the Necron Tomb Lord, who's now awake. Again, I'm using the Mummy a lot here because Evie is first of all, Mummy's a great movie and Evie's a great character. So
it is a fantastic movie. It is a solid 10 out of 10. It's one of the best movies of all time. I'd put it up there with Jurassic Park.
Now, again, from a role-playing angle, these are your detective nuns as well. So if you had your smooth operator courtier nun, which was the Orders Famulus, and you had your cool nurse surgeon nun, which is the Order Hospitaller, these are your detectives. They are your occult mystery investigators, okay? And if you can imagine like an astropathic signal that's transmitting some sort of extinct dialect of High Gothic, and the Imperial Navy thinks it's a distress call that somehow has been routed from the Great Crusade era. The Inquisition thinks it might be a lure pulling people into a trap. The Sister Dialogous is like, okay, every 7th word is actually part of an Eldar dialect, and every 3rd line is a quotation from the Ranadandra legends with a syllable altered. It's actually some sort of activation signal for something sleeping underneath the planet. And that's what the message is for. That's how you get a Sister Dialogous.
Now, one of my favorite parts about the Dialogous is in battle, they have another battlefield role, which is singing the prayers as loud as she can, for one. but also conveying the messages of the canonesses, the preceptors, and the higher ups of the Sisters of Battle to keep Battlefield Command going. So they're useful outside of combat and inside of combat.
I like this. Necromancer Cobalt says, given the sister's hatred of Xenos, I can only imagine 75% of her linguistics training is dedicated to using the proper slurs. And Godzilla Rex says, so Sister Duolingo is valid.
Yes, it is.
And not for nothing, Drazina Question says, I want a college TV show about the Sisters Scala program. I mean, is it like 70s style where it's like Three's Company, or is it more 90s style? Like, what are you picturing in your head for this TV program? Because I am now very curious about this.
Probably very similar to like an American high school. So High School Musical with guns.
Ooh. Oh, we got a super chat we missed here. Necromancer Cobalt says, let's be honest, oaths of celibacy does not stop a lot of holy folks, especially in the real world.
True.
Yeah, good point.
So one of my favorite things about the Scala Progenium, do you know Sisters of Battle are really good at Blood Bowl in them?
Huh? That's right. Yeah, Scrum Ball. It's called Scrum Ball.
Scrub Ball. But it's Blood Bowl. We both know it's Blood Bowl.
Well, it sounds a lot more like rugby, because this is Caiaphas Cain, and he's a British author, so I'm assuming he's talking about rugby as Scrum Ball.
But it's really funny that the sisters excel in it.
Yeah, they're the top Scrum Ball league in the Scala Progenium. That's true, according to Caiaphas Cain.
I just love that that's a thing, that the Sisters of Battle are good at football.
Okay, so we've talked about the Order's family list. Let's rank them.
All right. So, the Dialogus.
Dialogus.
I want to rank them higher. Trust me, Ross, I do.
Okay.
But that first model.
It does drag him down a bit, doesn't it?
It's so awful. It is hideous. Rated the worst GW model
of all time. Of all time. Yeah, D tier.
I think they have to go bottom of D tier. Their new model, absolutely fantastic. Looks great.
Can you show the new model?
I can bring it up.
Okay.
If you continue chatting and talking in junk.
Yeah, we need to skip to the opening eye, which is actually a Famulus order. And I'll be very clear. This is another nepotism pick, because the opening eye is from Dark Heresy, and I just think they're really cool. I wanted to make sure and include them.
Excuse me.
The opening eye, there's not a lot of text, just like the other stuff, but the opening eye is they are in the Calix's sector. They're attached to a rogue trader during the Angevin Crusade, which is what founded the Calix's sector in Dark Heresy. And the opening eye is from a saint who was on board that ship of the rogue trader. And when the navigator died and the flagship was crippled, she is the one who guided the ship back to Imperial space through what everyone describes as divine providence. And that sister, became the new rogue trader. She was given his warrant of trade. So it's a very rare case of a Sister of Battle a Sororitas becoming a rogue trader, and doing it through a really cool, like, semi-miracle of helping a ship without a navigator get back to Imperial space, which is rad. I think we all have to agree that's rad. By the way, that model does not suck. I won't say it's amazing, but it doesn't suck.
Also, they put her in power armor. Because of course they did.
Yeah, they did. You can see the pack on her. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do like that the Sisters of Battle are now wearing a lot more robes and everything over their power armor. I'm not a big fan of the glove over gauntlet.
That's classic, though.
I know, but
that's always been there.
It irks me.
Also, surprisingly high number of high heels amongst Sisters of Battle models. That I think that is also slowly being phased out, but I could be wrong.
It unfortunately is.
Okay. Well, so if you want to bring back up the tier list, I think we can rank the Crimson Eye if you'd like, because that's pretty much all we know about them is that they're based on this one particular saint who became a rogue trader. I still think that's cool, but I'm okay with D tier because they have no models.
I'm going top of D tier.
Okay, that's
because
legit.
Crimson Oath, the Dialogus, horrific. But yeah.
The opening eye, of course, is a reference to the Navigators, which I think is pretty fun. They're basically the only order of Sororitas that is like, hey, Navigators are kind of cool and necessary, but we did a miracle to do it, so maybe not so cool and necessary. they're a little two-faced on the whole Navigator system. Hey, Ricky Chapman coming in with a super chat. A major NPC in our campaign is a Sister of Battle Order of the Ebon Chalice by the name of Canoness Emilia von Salek, who is the right hand of the Inquisitor PC in our campaign. So, move the Ebon Chalice to A tier, the middle of A tier, please. Congratulations, Ricky Chapman. You have honored your campaign, your role-playing game campaign.
I also fully agree with this. The gloves do make them really, really easy to convert.
All right, so we're down to our last one.
The gauntlets. That's fair. That's fair.
Now,
all right, we got our last one.
Yeah, the Orders Pronatus. But before we get into that, I think we have to talk about their character, right? And you are a huge fan of their character, so we need to talk about this character at least a little bit. I doubt we'll ever do a full show on Sister Argenta. But
when is Argenta?
The Sister Battle from the Rogue Trader game.
Oh yeah, duh. Sorry, that
the one you talk about.
Because my brain went to Mark of Faith, and I was like, "Oh, the sister from Mark of Faith." No, completely different game, or completely different series. The Sister of Battle from that game is actually pretty cool. She really does care about those under her, except Xenos. She doesn't mind the Rogue Trader being a little heretical, which is pretty interesting. As long as it helps her get to her planet and get her power armor and get her weapons and everything.
I'll be right back.
She's also the second strongest member of your entire party, aside from the Arbite who could deal infinite damage. But, that's just that. I like her, but honestly, I found her story a little bit lacking because I didn't romance her. I'm pretty sure if I romanced her, I would have been more into her. But I romanced the Eldar. They also have another special character, the Relic Bearer. They do. That's part of the Triumph of St. Catherine, is it not? Okay. I do think that every single model on the Triumph of St. Catherine is amazing, except for that one holding the pizza. Which one is holding the pizza? It's the bed of roses, but it looks like pizza. Argenta with a heavy bolter straight to S tier. I mean, if you donate $10, it's straight to S tier. I will just hand you that. But as it stands right now, I think her being the only member that we really know about, but her with a heavy bolter is really, really strong. I gave her the flamer for the most part because I had too many AoEs and the game was becoming a bit too easy, which did kind of suck because the Rogue Trader's combat game can be broken very easily, especially if you bring the Arbite as well as the Blade Dancer and then the Sister Battle. I felt bad because the Space Marine Ulver was the worst character to bring because he just kind of sucked. Yeah, shotguns are fun with her too. Absolutely agree. With the Ministorum Priest Attendant, yeah. I thought that game was really good. I should really replay that game. I should stream that game again. But overall, I don't really know too much else about her as it stands. Yeah. Well, if it got a lot better in the later patches, I hope so because it's very weird how little damage she does. I kind of felt like a Space Marine should be one-shotting enemies, but not 300-shot enemies because it felt weird. Shout out to the 700 Sister of Hyacinth who gave us Ephrael Stern. Yes.
Well, Ephrael Stern was a Pronatus, right? I think before she got her, and then she became a full battle sister. Sister Argenta she's a very unapologetically dogmatic character.
Mm-hmm.
She's the orphan of Imperial Guard officers. She's raised in the Scholar Progenium, which is basically where all Battle Sisters come from. She sees battle as a form of worship, and she seeks to become worthy of the Emperor through her martial and spiritual perfection. And that's the thing about Argenta, I think, that really stands out is that her sincerity and her authenticity are forefronted, right? She is both a very compelling and very dangerous character. I haven't played Rogue Trader. I'd be really clear. I have not actually experienced this for myself, but I want to.
Do you know what annoys me about the Rogue Trader game? Originally, Owlcat wanted to make all the companions romanceable, and Games Workshop said no.
Well, I mean,
and I'm just like, let me sleep with a sister.
I would have not made that decision. That's fair.
Well, so, a space wolf, like I would try. I basically got one in the other room.
A fun fact is that Argenta is named after a saint that is both in the Calixis sector and the Coronis Expanse, part of the ecclesiarchy there. And she was. Go ahead.
Do you want to know another fun fact about the Space Wolf's name?
You do this all the time. His name means wolf.
Ulfur is just wolf in Icelandic.
Right.
So the Space Wolf's name is Wolf Wolfson. I love that they gave him 2 different wolf names.
Yeah, fair enough.
It made me happy.
So, have you talked about the Orders Pro Natus as an organization?
Not too much, because I don't know much about them.
Well, it's pretty simple. The Orders Pro Natus, this is a minor order, and they are mostly, well, again, kind of like the scholars of the other groups we've talked about. They are specialists in like relics. They want to seek out and recover and catalog and preserve anything that's sacred or valuable to the ecclesiarchy. They're the relic hunters. They're the tomb raiders. Okay.
It belongs in a museum.
It belongs in a museum.
Oh my god, they're the woman equivalent of Jackie Chan Adventures.
Yeah, or Indiana Jones if you want to think of it that way, or Lara Croft. Although, goddamn, we need a Lara Croft Pro Natus really bad. Frankly, that would be super cool. There's fun fact: there is a link between Games Workshop and Lara Croft. One of the original founders of Games Workshop went on to found the company that made the first Tomb Raider game. So
that is really funny.
Just as a interesting note. So, yeah, the Orders Pro Natus, they are shrine guardians, archaeologists, warriors, scholars, and they tend to, kind of like Indiana Jones, they seek out things that belong, that they, at least they think they belong, to the ecclesiarchy. The Orders Pro Natus is probably the least developed, or maybe most underdeveloped, might be a better way of putting it, of the Orders Minoris. We don't know very much about them. So they have a very cool purpose, and they have a very cool special character, even though she doesn't have a model. Technically, there's a bust you can get, and don't go into the gutter with this. It's just in terms
I
of
already did.
The shoulders and head of a statue type of bust of Argenta. So kind of a model, but not actually. Where would you put the Orders Pro Natus?
I like the Pro Natus. I like Argenta a bit more than a Pro Natus because she's a former member of this. Don't all sisters in battle have busts? Yes. I think this is really cool. I think this is way more interesting than a lot of the stuff that we have. Like, I think this is more interesting than the Ordo Famulus because they're cool, but I'd put them at the bottom of C tier.
They're also the banner bearers. Like if you have one on the battlefield, they're like the one holding the banner. Is the Orders Pro Natus, basically.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
They are the ones who are entrusted with like the finger bone of the saints, or a triptych of the saints' victories. They're the ones who are given like the really, really cool stuff. There's a character that they have who's called Astrid Thurja, who's pretty cool. But she's from She actually has a model. No, there is a model. There's a model that orders Pronatus. I'll be damned. She's the one with the banner.
So do you mean the Amagafire, or do you mean the
Here, I'll bring it up on screen. I need to drop you that for a minute.
Oh, do you mean Ash
This one. This one.
Yeah.
That's a Pronatus.
Yeah, she's essentially an Amagafire.
No, she's not. She's Order Pronatus.
Yeah, but the Magafires are the ones that carry banners as well.
Astrid Thurga. Well, the Imagifers carry things that are like banners, but not actually banners. This is what's called an auto tapestry, by the way, what she's carrying there. Reliquants at Arms is actually her full title, but it is typically given to long-standing members of the Orders Pronatus. So this is absolutely a thing that is different, distinct, and separate from an Imagifer, which I think is really cool. Yeah, and that banner is nice. That's like one of the best banners I've seen for 40K. I really dig it.
I gotta look this up really quickly.
Yeah, Astrid Thurga. So they have a named character model. Check that out.
That is actually really cool.
Hey, so I think maybe move them up a step.
I'm trying to get a name really quickly. I spelled the name wrong. Cool.
Now, the most greatness of all the Orders Pronatus, of course, is another special model, the Triumph of St. Catherine. Those are all Pronatus as well. Because they
carry around a pizza.
It's a battlefield procession that carries the remains of St. Catherine and all of her war gear. That's from September. I told you. Yeah, we need that. We need that meme of the guy shouting at Charles Bronson who gets blown up. Because you're right. You did tell us. I agree.
Okay, I forgot the E in her name.
Bustiest order confirmed. Thank you, Rush. Taking things out of context. I dig it. You're right. Nestor Vitumbra is the man over here who's been getting all the things correct along the line. Anyway, so Orders Pronatus, you moved them up to B tier.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, wait. Necromancer Kobold coming in with a steel cherry says, add Doge Van Dyer or Doge Van Dyer. I put him at the bottom of D. He's a bad dog, although he has two fairly good fan main models.
Okay, well, I got to check if I could do this. Okay, you guys can't see it. I will add something for him.
Here, let's take this down while you do that.
Yep, it'll just take me a second.
No, Necromancer Kobold, we got you, buddy. We got you. It is fine.
I need to find a piece of artwork for him. Because I don't think I have artwork for him. No, I don't. Okay, I got to look him up real quick.
Yeah, this has been an interesting tier list. I've actually... the comments from you and from the chat have made me recontextualize a few of the orders that I thought were originally kind of bland. And I feel like we're getting into the lore a little bit more for the Sisters of Battle, which is good because they've kind of been on the back burner for a lot of editions of the game. They were the very last codex released for second edition. I think they were like the last or second to last for third and fourth. So they've been, I like the fact that we're talking more about them and they have a lot more lore now than they used to. From a man of a certain age, the viewpoint of a 51-year-old Warhammer enjoyer like myself, it's cool to see the Sisters having so much stuff to talk about. There he is, Doge Van Dyer.
Okay.
Boom.
So I do want to post who did this artwork, so just give me a moment. Because this is made by Disharmonia, and she does amazing 40K artwork. So I want to make sure I get a full image of it. So
Necromancer Kobold was like, hey, you can just use a Doge.
That would be really funny. But I do want to show...
Such heresy. Wow.
This piece of artwork really quickly. Because Disharmonia is an amazing artist from Ukraine.
Oh, that is nice.
Absolutely. She is crazy when it comes to artwork.
All right, now let's bring back up the tier lists. I have a few questions for you and the audience.
Yep.
So we've ranked them based on the criteria that you established.
Yep.
And the chat has had their chance to move things around. So now I'm going to ask some very pertinent questions. let's say you have some Sisters of Battle in your hometown. You live on a Cardinal world or a Shrine world, and the Sisters of Battle are protecting it. Which order, obviously Order Militant in this case, which order do you want protecting you? I'm saying,
Ross,
go ahead.
Ross, I will have you know that I live in Iceland, which is basically Fenris. And last time I checked, when sisters tried to come here, it didn't go so well.
Fair enough.
I'm
But
joking. I'm joking.
I'm going to say Bloody Rose is probably not who I would want protecting me. Probably Valorous Heart. I'm going to say Valorous Heart. You know why? Because Saint Celestine could show up, and that'd be clutch. I think her and Ephraim Stern are both super clutch.
I'm going Order of our Martyred Lady.
Okay.
Like, I have a ton of different named characters. I'm not going to die. I have a name.
Oh, I'm sorry. That Martyred Lady is the one I was thinking of, right? Because that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're both going with Martyred Lady. People in the chat, Lore Seekers, add your answers here, or if you want, I can maybe throw up a poll for some of these things. Nestor says, I want a famulous lawyer that protects more than a rosary.
I mean, honestly, I would like a famulous to be, here. That'd be pretty cool. I'd do things. She would be pious. I wouldn't.
So
I'm terrible. I'm sorry.
Contrasting to that, Ice Veins came late. The costume is something around $10.
Yep.
So contrasting that, here's my question: which order, and this could be minor or major, is likely to turn a small problem into an orbital bombardment?
Bloody Rose.
I think Famulous could also do it because we talked about how they're counter coup, right? I don't think Dialogus would be likely to start an orbital bombardment, and I don't think Pronatus would, although it's possible.
This is pretty
certainly
funny.
Not Hospitaller.
The Exiled One said, "Bloody Rose for me. I may not survive, but I know my enemies won't."
There you go. I mean, that's there is some comfort in that, right? Like you get to say those dudes are not going to survive.
They will be destroyed.
Oh my God. Spitfire, Doge Van Dyre is blessed by the Emperor himself. How can he not be a good boy? Straight to S tier. Doge Van Dyre. How can this happen? It's a show about the Sisters of Battle, and we put their. Oh my God, this guy. We have to do a show on this guy because Doge Van Dyre and the Brain of Blood is a major part of 40K lore.
I think if we do an episode,
you just said doo-doo.
Yeah, we have to do them both at once. Because we can't talk about the Reign of Blood without talking about him, and he's so important to it that we can't separate them.
You're right. That's fair. We should just call it the Reign of Blood and just do it that way. Yeah. You're right. Temple Tendency detected. For people who don't know, that is absolutely true. Temple Tendency is a great faction within the Ecclesiarchy to cover. They're actually part of one of the Minkalesk novels, Trader Rock, if you're curious about them.
Minkalesk novels are amazing.
They're pretty good. I'm a fan.
He's the founder. I mean, technically, yes.
Technically, you are correct, which is the best kind of correct. All right, so
we got Ice Veins here.
Oh. Bloody Rose to S tier if possible. They leave no survivors, friendly or enemies. They get the job done. Well, Doge Van Dyre does not have a shield, so you can put him at the very, very top. Thank you, Ice Veins. I approve of the Bloody Rose. They are job getters doners. That is true.
I forget which order it was, but there was a minor order that was attacked by a Tyranid Hive fleet. Not specifically a Hive fleet, not a tendril of a Hive fleet, and they destroyed the Hive fleet, but they lost all but one sister, which is pretty insane.
Okay, so next question. Which order do you want to party with after the battle's over? I'm going to say Bloody Rose, frankly. Bloody Rose is like, I think those ladies are real serious in the fight, but afterwards I imagine they cut loose.
They probably beat the hell out of you, though. That sounds like a lot of fun to me. So, yes.
I mean, could be, certainly. Orders Pronatus probably know how to drink. So you definitely know the Dialogist or the Famulous. Famulous knows how to drink, right? They know how to party too. Ice
So you've
Fates,
been
a
here
pillow
putting
for
a
the Bloody
shield.
Rose to sit on. A shield. He has shielded them. All right, we have a shield on the Bloody Rose. Thank you, Ice Fates.
So funny enough, back in earlier ninth edition,
Yeah.
Bloody Rose was the big faction that I played a lot because that +1 attack and +1 strength was so huge on the charge that you would run in there with Repentia just tearing everything apart in one round of combat, and it was so much fun. Currently, as it stands, I do tend to play Hallowed Martyr or let me see, which one am I playing with this list? Because this one is more of a joke list. But I'm playing Champions of Faith and Sanctified Ordinators, which that it's pretty fun. It's the Sacristan detachment, so it makes Sacristans really cool. And they are hands down one of my favorite new sister battle units. Uh, for those of you that don't know, sacristans are a type of Celestian, so a bodyguard to a canoness or somebody important, and they carry around a storm shield in one hand and a pseudo storm shield. It had a 3-up invo originally, now it has a 4-up, um, and either a mace, a halberd, or a spear, and they wield it one-handed. They're in power armor. I guess they can. I don't know how the hell they wield I'm assuming they go like this, but then their shield has a gun on it, so they can't actually wield it two-handed, which is weird, but we're not going to talk about that. But the cool thing about them is that they have one of the craziest shield designs in the history of forever because it's a baby coffin shield. And that'll always be my favorite dark thing in 40K is that uh the shield is looks like it's not stated by Games Workshop to be, but it's definitely inspired by a baby coffin, and that makes me happy.
Can you find a picture of that?
The Sacristan, yeah, of course I can.
All right, so I think maybe my favorite question that I wanted to ask about all this. Oh, Nestor Viterbo points out that a Famulus, you can drink aged Amasec from the VIP box and look down on the rest of the guests with superiority. That's
Well,
absolutely a Famulus. But here's my question for the chat and for you. I want everybody to chime in here because I think we need one of these orders to become a kill team. We have the novitiates, and the novitiates are fine, but I mean an order. I mean, like pick an order. One of the orders minoris, one of the orders majoris, and we can like figure out what that kill team might look like.
they already have a sister battle kill team.
I just said that, the novitiates, but that's
No, the Sacristans.
okay. But again, we're talking about a particular order, and we want to theme it to the order, okay, not to the particular unit or the fact that they're baby nuns, if you will, or young nuns. So, like, if you were going to do a kill team of the Bloody Rose, it would all be about melee combat, and you'd have a lot of Repentia as well, right? Like, where'd the screen go? Oh, you're bringing up the picture, right?
Yeah. Boop. Sacristans.
There's okay. Which one is the shield that you're talking about?
The shield is right here, right in the middle. Actually, it's all over the place. It's a baby coffin. It's great, and I love it.
Okay, like a coffin lid, I guess what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I don't see it, but fair enough.
They also have the graveyard fence on their back.
Yeah, that is cool.
I love the fact that there are subtle details here that show what the designer was thinking about. I had a conversation with the designer a long time ago, or at least a person that said that they were the designer. I don't know if it actually was because I never verified it, which is one of the problems with talking to people on social media is you never know if you're actually talking to them.
That's fair.
But my gods, do I love this.
Speaking of this, I think we got a shout out from Rush. He says, "Fashion police order, please." Who is the fashion police of all these guys? Oh Lord,
The Famulus.
I mean, they would be the ones who'd have the most knowledge of fashion and fashionistas and things like that. In high society, where fashion is really important.
Yeah.
But you could make a case for Pronatus. You could make a case for the Sacred Rose, even could have a case. But Bloody Rose Kill Team is so far one of the big choices with a lot of Repentia and a Penitent Engine. I'm sure there's all kinds of, Chain Blades Ahoy, right, would be the main feature of that. Where did
Hang on.
it's
Hang
gone.
on.
Keeps going away.
This. This is the other kill team they have. And this is a team specially designed to hunt psychers.
The Insidiants, right.
Yeah.
So they have 3 kill teams.
They have this Sanctifiers, they have the Novitiates, but the Novitiates is, I don't think, a kill team anymore. Because kill teams cycle. And then they have this. And I love these girls. They kill Magnus really quickly.
Okay.
That makes them good. They're also another Celestian unit, which is great, and I love them. Okay, let's go ahead and get back up the tier list. I hate how many buttons I have to push to bring back up the tier list. It's like you have to push 10 buttons to do it.
How many licks to get to the center of the cereal pop? All right. So Bloody Rose, somebody in the chat saying Bloody Rose would make a really good kill team. And I do agree. I can see that one easily in my head. I think somebody else mentioned the Ebon Chalice because they could be one of everything. Being the first order.
Kill team could be cool. I would like a sniper-based kill team for sisters. Like something longer ranged. Or jet bikes.
And one of the other options was the archaeological expedition. So I think I can make a poll out of this and we can figure out which one we want to do from the chat. So which order would make a good kill team?
For all the Gooner money, god damn it.
So we've got, let me make sure I've got my options correct. We've got the Pronatus archaeological expedition. We've got the Bloody Rose melee squad. I'm just going to call them that. What are the other 2 options?
Let's see. Bloody Rose. We got
Ebon Chalice.
Yeah, the Ebon Chalice.
Ebon Chalice generalists.
And a Famulus one. No, that's actually, yeah, the Famulus one.
Famulus infiltrators. Hey, that could be a sniper. Can you imagine like a Ada Wong or like Mr. and Mrs. Smith style? She's got an evening dress on, but also a sniper rifle.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of rad.
Yeah, that would be badass.
That would be pretty cool. Ebon Chalice A team. Okay, you know what? That's better than generalists. You're right. Ebon Chalice A team. Dun 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 dun. Famulus is infiltrators is what we're going with.
Yes.
Infiltrators. All right. Famulus infiltrators. All right, cool. So I am creating the poll. We are starting up the poll. Everybody vote. You guys have got 30 seconds to vote, and we will lock it down, and we will discuss what a kill team would look like of one of these groups. Like that anime with the maids who are also assassins. Yes.
Yes.
There's a few of those animes, I think.
There's a lot.
He may be thinking of damn it, I used to watch this one a lot too. Can't remember what it was called.
I have no idea. I don't watch that much anime. As weird as it is to say, I don't watch that much anime.
Well, when Vera and I are talking on our Lorebeards and role-playing, we will often devolve into what we call anime beards, where we just start talking about how anime relates to role-playing games. There's a surprising amount of crossover.
There is.
Pronatus is getting a lot of votes. That's good. I like the Bloody Rose melee squad too. Ebon Chalice A team is intriguing. I don't have a vision of what it would look like in my head, but I imagine we could probably work that out. The Famulus Infiltrators is starting to really grow on me because there are a lot of really cool ways to show Imperial nobility. It's very, Renaissance France. Well, it can be that. It can also be very Renaissance France with a lot of the curls and the fancy dresses. So there's a lot of different ways to go. Necromundan would be really interesting, though, because that would be a place that you would see Famulus probably pretty heavily involved, actually. Sister Infiltrators taking out something that needs to be handled quietly, says Ricky Chapman. Fashion Police. So the Fashion Police are now the archaeologists, Rush says. All right. So that's why they're getting high, because they're also Fashion Police. Ooh, all right, we're going to end this poll here in about 20 seconds, let's say 10 seconds.
See, when it comes to Sisters of Battle, I don't know what armies they're really what units they're really missing aside from like a cavalry unit and a sniper unit.
Well,
They don't really have
that's
much for long range firepower.
you just named a couple. But for Kill Team though is different because Kill Team doesn't have to fit into a larger army frame so much.
Well, they sort of do because they eventually do come to the mainline game.
Hmm. I mean, I think we could be a little more forgiving here. Which one
Oh
would you
yeah, of
pick
course.
personally?
The infiltrators because it comes with a sniper.
I'm still feeling the Bloody Rose, but that doesn't mean anything. All right, so stopping the poll, we have a pretty clear winner. Boop.
Bop.
Think of the
Another
cool
noises.
expedition members: Pronatus Superior, Pronatus Reliquant at Arms, servitors with excavation tools, a Sister Sabine or Famulus as a local guide. Ooh.
What are they using to control the servitors?
They could be arcoflagellates with excavation tools. But you're right. That's an
Yeah.
interesting question. More like maybe more like pilgrims with excavation tools.
Yeah, because we
Battle kind of like
like
a battle pilgrim thing.
it's the weirdest thing because we know that Sisters of Battle have access to a whole bunch of things that they themselves can't use. Like we know that they have tech priests and things like that because they need something to repair their vehicles. We know that they have servitors because they need stuff that unloads all of their stuff from the drop ships. And it's like I I want this on the battlefield. I want to see these things.
So we did. I did not put in the Sister Sabine, which is being mentioned here by Nestor Vitsumbra. So do you know who the Sister Sabine are, Alexis?
Probably, but the name is not ringing a bell right now.
Would you mind making an entry for them? Because we did leave
Yeah,
them
sure.
out. All right. Sister Sabine. The Order Sabine are a very little known. This is deep cut. Non-militant branch of the Adeptus Sororitas. They work as covert missionaries, infiltrators, and revolutionary agents on newly discovered worlds at the edge of Imperial space. Their purpose is to prepare a culture to accept Imperial compliance before the Missionarius Galaxia openly arrives. They are yet another version of the Bene Gesserit from Dune, which is pretty great. Yeah, they're basically missionary spies, which is kind of interesting. There's a lot of overlap between them and the Famulus, but one is more on the fringe and more exploration based, I guess.
How the heck
Because
do
they
I spell Sabine?
Sabine.
Okay.
They're effective at helping expand the Imperium, and I kind of imagine them as being something you would find on a lot of Rogue Trader vessels, actually. Ice Veins 88 says a traitor Sisters of Battle kill team of former Bloody Rose as shield maidens of Khorne would be pretty awesome, in my opinion. Alexis, you're a shield maiden. How do you think of that?
Well, can you repeat that? I was deep in thought trying to find this because I cannot find any results for Sister Sabine.
That's okay. Just write it down on a. You just type it in. It could be just a
You know,
block of text.
I'll just do this instead. I'll add whoops. Ah, I hit the wrong buttons. Okay. We'll just choose a file and then I'll just pick a picture. But can you repeat the question?
So Iceman says he's thinking of a traitor Sisters of Battle kill team of the former Bloody Rose, but now they have become Shield Maidens of Khorne, and he thinks that would be pretty awesome.
I do agree with that, although I do not like the term shield maidens. But
Okay.
yes, I do agree with that.
All right, Sister Sabine. Unfortunately, there's just so little known about them. For me, they're a D tier. They're cool, but are they
Yeah,
cooler? You know,
that's going to be the artwork for them right now.
fair enough. Now, Nestor Vitumbra is talking about. Oh, sorry. I need to go back up to this person here. El Neko, welcome El Neko. He says he's imagining the A team. This is the Ebichalis one, as basically a Celestian kill team, but there's a Celestian Hospitaller, a Celestian Dialogus. So it is the best of the best of all of the orders.
Okay.
So the novitiates, but like leveled up, the elevated version of the novitiates. Okay, that's true. I hadn't thought of that. That would be pretty cool. You could have a Uber Repentia, an Uber
Wouldn't a high
Seraphim.
level Repentia just be repented?
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
give her a name and a slightly bigger chainsword. I don't know. But that is a cool idea. But I think what we're going, the chat has decided we're talking about the Pronatus Archaeological Squad here. And Nestor Retumber says the pilgrims are enthusiastically collecting what they consider relics, but in reality, they're mostly hauling away trash. They're the Connors from Necromunda.
Yeah.
And the sisters don't pay them much attention, but keep them as servants. I can see them as Bretonnian presence in space. That was very much what I was thinking about.
I do like the idea of Cornate's sisters, though. I do see that. I'm not a big fan of the whole shield maiden thing. I joke around about it because I build shields.
Look at this one.
But yeah.
Most men have trouble finding a sister, Sabine. But the excavation team he does love. Okay, so yeah, the excavation team is where we're at. We got our guys digging in the dirt. Let's see. Let's go back up to that list here as the basis.
This might actually be where you have the tech priest actually appear. So you have a tech priest, 2 servitors, okay? So they're the excavators.
It's a Sororitech?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the idea is that while they are part of the Mechanicum hired the sisters to protect them.
No, if it's a Sororitech, it'd be the...
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's leave the little room. Like maybe it's just a female tech priest, maybe it's a...
Oh yeah, they probably only work with like women tech priests, which I could see being dumb enough in the lore that they put it there.
You really love the idea of gender exclusion with the Sisters of Battle. I don't know why.
Because, okay, I love the dumb things in Warhammer 40k.
Okay, that's fair.
Gender exclusiveness of Warhammer 40k really tells you the tone of the fascist empire. Like, I love when people online are like, oh, you can't have female space marines because of this, that, and the other reason. And it's like the actual lore is, no, they just think they're icky. And I love that whole thing. I love the idea that space marines are just men because space marines never tried women. Like, that to me is way funnier than any other lore justification. And I know there are lore justifications. And it really shows how stupid fascists are. So, like, right. That's why I love it.
Fair enough. Well, let's look at this Nestor Vitumbra's thing here.
Ice Veins, you nailed it.
Okay. Ice Veins is saying, how about Blood Valkyries instead of Shield Maidens?
Oh God, what is the Viking execution where they rip out your ribs?
Blood Eagle.
Yeah, call them the Blood Eagles. That way you get the Viking theme with them, and it's more horrific.
So the thing that chat voted for was the Pronatus kill team. I'd like to spend a little more time on that. So you were saying, I think to make it more Pronatus, and to satisfy what you wanted, which was to have a sister that was also a tech priestess of kind, I would almost prefer it to be a Sororitech than a woman tech priest.
Yeah, a Sororitech sounds way better.
But the thing about kill team is you can actually build a story around it. Like you don't have to say that this is all Pronatus expeditionary groups. This is this specific one. These are this. They all have names, right? Like this is a very narrowed down, zoomed in view of one particular team. So your particular Sororitech might have been a tech priest who has decided that since Omnissiah equals Emperor, I want to experience what it's like with the Ecclesiarchy, and has made some sort of deal with this specific Pronatus group to be their guide. Or alternatively, it's a Sister of Battle who has decided that since the Emperor is also the Omnissiah, she's going to explore it from the other side. I don't know. What narrative do you have in your head?
So in my mind, to make this work, and given GW's new track record of just forcing lore in, I think it would be a sister who trains under a tech priest, similar to like the acolytes of a tech priest, the junior tech priest. I forget what they're called again.
Tech adepts.
Tech adepts. It would be a tech adept who is also a member of the Ecclesiarchy. So she.
Okay, so you don't want to do a specific person. You want to go to a role and say this is now a role.
Oh no, that would be her role. The one in the kill team would be a very specific one. So the kill team, because most kill teams do have named characters in them.
Right.
It's just
That's where I
once
was coming
they,
from. Yeah.
yeah, once they get ported over, those names tend to go away. But I could definitely see that you're playing as a tech adept or a sorortech.
Oh well, Desperate Timber's pointing out it could be a tech adept who's being punished by being. They consider it a punishment to do this,
Oh, all right, I like that.
like a penitech or something like that. Penitent tech adept would be interesting. That they're being that they consider this a punishment. Maybe this specific person is actually like, this is actually kind of interesting. I like what I'm seeing. They're more open than you would think. I do like the idea of it being a punishment. That's very 40k to say now you have to go work more closely with these people that hate us, right? That's very 40k. So I kind of dig that idea.
I like that as well.
Yeah, so maybe start out as a tech adept who's being punished by his superiors and is therefore forced to be part of this Pronatus detail. But she, whatever we want to come up with for the tech adept, is starting to come around and say, the Emperor is also the Messiah. So technically, this isn't. I mean, from a certain point of view, it's not heresy.
I mean, if you go by the not Bloody Rose, the Martyred Lady books, they do acknowledge other priesthoods that worship the Emperor. In fact, they make a joke about it that one faith celebrates the Emperor as a dung beetle who brings the sun around the planet
by rolling it.
Yeah, by rolling it. And so I could see the sisters being more lenient towards this because they have to, because this is the thing that repairs their vehicles. Like,
yeah, Rush is saying that weakness of the faith instead of flesh would be an interesting way to go with the Sororitas.
Yeah, I like
God,
it. I like
is being a Sororitas punishment from the Sororitas? I mean, we're really leaning into this whole like religion as punishment thing, which is fine. It's part of the Sisters of Battle for sure. And the Martyred Lady are the ones that are the most. Are they? No, it's the Valorous Heart, right?
The Valorous Heart are the most pious,
the most penitent. They're the most like we fucked up and we have to pay for it. So maybe it comes from the Valorous Heart. That'd be kind of interesting. And Necromancer Kobold says maybe this group is designed to search and scrounge for relics amongst the battlefield in hopes of finding one blessed by the Emperor, and or trying to find new saints. Trying to find more living saints is a pretty cool idea.
Oh, dang it, we just keep finding Celestine. This is like the third one this week.
Well, we know that. I mean, if you take the Black Library novels, like Sabat is a living saint. If you take the role playing games, then Drusus is a living saint. So and if you take the video games, you got Anais is a living saint, right? So maybe these legends are all trying to be like, we're going to go to Cronus and find Anais. We're going to go to the Sabbat worlds and find Sabatine. We're going to go, oh man, I kind of love the idea of a Sabbat worlds group out there following in the footsteps of Gaunt's ghosts.
If, because we do know that the new Dawn of War game is set on Cronus.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
If the Sisters of Battle get Saint Anais back, I'm gonna lose my shit.
So who's your Reliquant at Arms? Could be your heavy weapons person.
Yep.
But it could also be a banner bearer. Like I feel like that's maybe too much, is to do the banner bearer twice. But if you had a blessed heavy bolter,
maybe
multi-melta,
maybe give them the Trinity gun finally.
The what now?
The Trinity gun, the combi weapon that has it's a combi melta that also has an exterminator on it. So it's a flamer bolter melta gun. And it just fires one of those profiles.
Huh. That would be unique.
It's very similar to the Deathwatch gun, their flamer heavy bolter. I can't remember the name of it. Gods, I can't remember the name of it. What the hell is it called? Oh my god, my brain is just lost at this point.
That's where Summer says, I would prefer that the tech priests be there reluctantly with the same feeling as someone watching Victorian explorers blowing up the pyramids with dynamite, which did happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do it. You could do it almost that way too. I think I would want the Pronatus to be more Tomb Raider. And the Reliquant at Arms. The Reliquant at Arms would be the heavy weapons guy. A Trinity weapon for the Reliquant at Arms is pretty cool. Your Tomb Raider, if you're going with Tomb Raider, dual pistols, right? It's got to be.
Yeah, you have to have the Sister Superior dual wielding, like pistols.
Right. That's your, Sister Croft
Yeah.
for whatever reason. What else would you have in there?
So we got the
Cherubs?
heavy. Yeah, cherubs definitely.
Some cherub
Uh,
scouts of some kind, maybe like a pair of them.
probably more like ooh, it. You know, what you could use this as an opportunity to bring the Crusader back. Even though the Crusader keeps trying to come back, and GW's like, "No, get the fucker out of here."
Well, we've already got Tech Priest. Do we want to dilute the Sister Slaver even more by adding a
Uh,
Crusader?
nah. Okay, let's see. We get the two pistols.
Right.
Easy. We get the heavy, and now we just need the melee.
Oh, what if our Pronatus is a okay, the Pronatus could be I almost want to make her a Zephyr or a with the
Zephyr.
jetpack, but I think that might be too much. That might be taking away from the Tomb Raider than adding to it. But
Uh, maybe you could do a Zephyr or a Seraphim, but they're very pious, so I don't know if that would
that's
work
why,
with the
yeah, that's why
setting.
I think we just keep it as a Tomb Raider homage.
What you could do is have a bunch of novitiates with them.
They already have a kill team. We're doing a
Yeah,
different kill
but
team. We're doing a different kill team today. It was voted on by the chat.
okay.
Well, we Repentia. I mean, you can always throw a Repentia in there. There's no reason why you couldn't have a
The
Repentia.
Repentia are already in a kill team. They're in the
Okay,
Sanctifiers.
fair enough. Then in that case, Dialogus for translation, as El Neko is pointing out, we need a new Dialogus model. Wouldn't hurt to have hey, for you, Alexis, it's a novitiate Dialogus.
Novitiate Dialogus could be pretty cool. I do like that.
Famulous diplomat or Victorian lady style.
Hmm.
Pride and Prejudice and 40K, basically.
What else is missing from them that I would add? Like, not
Well,
a banner. Not a priest. Priests have been done way too much. A
and
simple
also would
battle
dilute.
sister could actually work because they don't
Yeah,
have battle
actually,
sisters.
just a couple of straight up battle sisters would be nice. Wouldn't that would be nice as well.
Yeah, they don't have battle sisters in a kill team at the moment. Just straight up battle sisters. We could also do a melee oriented battle sister with just a power sword and no, because that exists.
Dual chain swords. She's from the Bloody Rose.
A dual chainsword could be really cool, like a Repentia in power armor could be
Dual
nice.
wielding. Yeah, well, she's not a Repentia, but she's like a Repentia because she's Bloody Rose.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Oh yeah,
sniper,
and the sniper.
overconfident hunting rifle sister who's a plucky explorer. This is our famulus, right? We were saying the famulus, she's got the Adawong evening dress, but also a sniper rifle. That would be rad. That would be rad. Give her a plucky explorer hat, and you've got a winner. I think that's a good one. Sister Sabine with a stalker bolter would also have a backup. That'd be kind of fun too.
Also, giving the sisters a battle, any of the other bolter variants would be cool.
Establishing that it's possible would be great. That's this kill team would be kind of breaking some new ground with that.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this build so far. This is actually really cool. So we got a heavy bolter Trinity weapon, right?
Yep.
That's our
focus. There we go.
That's our Reliquant arms.
Yep.
We've got the Pronatus in charge of the expedition, who's our Tomb Raider with dual bolt pistols. We've got our Famulus with the sniper rifle. Oh, there's a question says, "Wait, Sisters of Battle of Crusaders? What?" Yeah, I mean, it is after all that gender exclusion stuff that she was talking about. It is a little odd to bring that up.
Well, yeah, because that's a Crusader. That's fine.
Perhaps the sniper famulus is accompanying the Imperial noble who financed the expedition.
Yeah, I could see that.
That could be a thing.
Because sisters can get hired to be bodyguards, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Because it's always in exchange for something for the sisters.
I was going to say, it's not. They're not mercenaries.
The ecclesiarchy is the one that's making the mercenaries.
Yeah, if you had a planetary governor who was like, "Hey, Abbot so and so, I really need some good bodyguards for this thing I'm about
Yeah.
to do on the second moon. And
Is it
the
gonna focus? No.
Abbott so and so's like, for you, planetary governor, whatever you want, I will have my sisters accompany you. That is the way I can see that happening. It's like
Yep.
it's an exchange of favors. It's not a money thing, right? It's more about power and
Oh my
access.
god. The fucking melee thing could actually be a tiny penitent engine, almost Arcoflagellant meets murder cyborg.
Murder servitor.
Yeah.
Well, you could frame it as it was a penitent engine that had to be rebuilt along the way by the tech adept.
Yeah.
This is almost turning out to be more like a Lost World type expedition, like an Arthur Conan Doyle style, right? In which case we need a caveman or Tarzan type, but that's fine.
Well, yeah, that's the Repentia.
Looking at a Repentia through the lens of a Tarzan or a cave woman would actually be kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
You want a dialogus with the boombox to blast hymns.
So my
But that was
RPG
that's the novitiate, right? The novitiate is the
Yeah.
one with the dialogus.
My RPG character for the longest time had a cherub carrying a boombox. It was an Archaeotech loudhailer.
Ah,
It was an 80s boombox.
well, that was a pretty good. I think this was a pretty good tier list. I like what we came up with for the kill team. I think the most, but I also enjoyed learning more and getting some different perspectives on the different orders. Is there anything on here you change at this moment in time from the list?
Gorge Van Dyer.
Yeah, he doesn't belong there, but it was paid for and shielded. No, Bloody Rolls is shielded, but yeah.
What is that? It's
Yeah.
dumb. Honestly, when it comes to the Sisters of Battle, GW does tend to forget that they exist. They add them into like the battles themselves and then only talk about the Space Marines. I get it from a sales perspective. The Sisters don't sell as well as Space Marines. Obviously, Space Marines are the top selling thing in all of Warhammer 40k. Makes total sense to focus on them. I just wish we had more stories for these others here and more characters for the others there.
That's why I kept
all of that out is difficult.
That's why I kept pushing back on the idea of adding non-sisters to the group, because I felt like we were losing that, more lore approach. But yeah, I do like the idea of what we came up with at the end. Actually, we need to add let's build kill teams. Like we've built Corsairs and Rogue Traders and stuff like that. We've built a freebooter, but we haven't built a freebooter kill team.
That is true.
And this experience is actually made me think that it would be a really good way to do another Let's Build would be to make it a kill team and tell the story of what that kill team is, but also what they're about.
This is another funny kill team. The Battle Blade. It's just a bunch of servitors and 2 tech priests. It's a lot of fun.
It would be excellent set if the kill team faced Chaos Pirates searching for the same relic. That would be cool.
Yeah.
It would be an excuse to have non-augmented traders and void seats. Yeah.
You know what I would want? Them to be versing the kin.
Or a Beastman kill team, maybe?
Beastman kill team could be cool.
Beastman Pirates. That's pretty rad.
I mean, we do have a Beastman kill team already. But I agree, we need more Beastmen. Maybe an Imperial Beastman unit would be interesting. Have a little Imperial on Imperial action.
Hey.
Can never go wrong with that.
Oh my god, I need to watch Hot Fuzz again. All right. Oh, Blood Pact. Yeah.
Oh my god, yes.
Blood Pact would be awesome.
How did we get Jackals and cosplayers and not the fucking Blood Pact? Oh my god, that annoyed me.
Temple Tendency would maybe be a little too many humans, but it's Temple Tendency would be a fun one to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. So that is going to wrap us up for today's Lorebeards. Don't forget, we have an episode coming up on Saturday, and you can go vote on that right now. And right after this episode goes live, you can go vote on what's going to happen for next Wednesday's show, which is going to be a lore court debate. And I think that's all the announcements we have for Lorebeards right now, 40K. We are, of course, shown every Wednesday and every Saturday from 2 to 5 Mountain Time. Alexis, where can people find you on the internets?
So you see this name somewhere over here? Yeah. Okay. You type that into Twitch, YouTube, Blue Sky, or something else, you'll find me. I'm doing a lot more battle reports on my channel. So if you are interested in the tabletop game or just me discussing my opinions on 11th edition and different armies and everything, stop by. Take a look at my YouTube channel. I'm trying to bring it back. It's very difficult. Ross, where can I find you?
Well, I am on twitch.tv/the Russ Watson. I will try to do a let's chat and ask me anything on Thursdays from I think 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock Mountain Time. Also, more importantly, I am trying to bring back my Patreon. You can go find me right here on this link for Patreon. I am doing a lot of role playing game stuff, but I also am transcribing a lot of our Let's Build random charts. The random charts for how to build a Eldari craft world that we used are actually up on my Patreon if you want to go find that. So it's not just role playing game stuff; it's also 40k stuff, and not for nothing, there's some 40k role play stuff there as well. So please do me a favor and consider joining my Patreon because I have some cool stuff there to show you guys. That's where you can find me. And don't forget, if you've enjoyed this deep dive into the grim darkness of the far future, do us a favor, hit the like button and the subscribe button so that the algorithm can spread our heresy to even more unsuspecting minds. We appreciate you guys, and we will see you again on Saturday.
And remember, in the grim darkness of the far future,
there is only lore.
All right. Thanks for watching,
Take care,
guys.
everybody.
Love you guys. Okay, bye.
I love